No, I have it out. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah. You know what's awesome is when you go live and you don't have a beer.
You drink your beer?
Well, I mean, I'm down to like my last third of
Me
the
too.
glass.
Me too.
That's
So
all
I
I got
guess
left.
we're in the same boat. It's fine. Kyle can
Ugh.
run it.
No, that's what I'm looking at. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
So
We
we're
are?
up.
All right,
Yeah,
awesome.
we're good.
I'm going to mute on my tablet, and then I guess I can see the chat in here too. All right, cool. All right, we're live. Happy Friday.
Yay, Fridays! Everyone likes Fridays.
I feel like I should play that like Friday song. Friday, Friday, everyone. No? All
No,
right, damn it. Okay, fine.
sorry.
You're like, no, don't
Just
do it
no.
ever.
Yeah.
Or two.
No.
Fair enough. So what's up, Kyle? How you doing?
Bad.
Or do.
Or don't, Michael. Uh, yeah. Just living my best life, and enjoying Michael's company right
Fair
now.
enough.
No, yeah, things are good. Glad to do this. I was looking forward to it. Little dude time, a little broing out. So
It is funny that as soon as Sean walked away and we had like 2 seconds with just both of us, it got real depressing real fast. I'm not blaming me.
Yeah, I came back
I'm
and I was
just
just like,
saying.
wow, that's really awkward.
yeah, no, I totally started the depressing train. Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
For once, it wasn't me.
so the comments isn't working.
Although I would have.
So the
What's
comments
that, Sean?
are coming through. So we got KPU 1977. Hey, what's up? Oh, Joe. Hey, what's going on? And Max, what's going on? So there's going to be some testing going on in this little thing. We're testing some new streaming tools, and there's going to be some friends joining. But we're going to be talking beer and probably a bunch of nonsense. So if you see things moving around and logos being resized, you know why. It'll be better in the future. I promise. Unfortunately, Mike and Kyle can't see what I'm seeing right now, but I think, oh well, Kyle can definitely see the comments. Mike doesn't give two Fs because he's just.
Don't give a shit. I'm a bad person. That's all.
You look very nice in your polo shirt,
He
though.
does.
Yeah, I usually wear polo shirts all week at work. I give no fucks, and I went through all of my uh, t-shirts because there's no one there.
Yeah.
And all the ones I have in my drawer don't fit me anymore because I just got fat as fuck. So my handful are now dirty, and I have to wash them tomorrow.
I think I just showed everyone the chat. My bad. Hold on, give me a second.
Right.
We're just.
So I just speaking of getting fat, I just did step on the scale to see what had happened since all this began. I'm up five. I'm up five. I thought maybe I'd be up more.
I don't want to like. Go ahead.
I haven't looked at the scale, but I looked down, and I mean, looks like I'm carrying a basketball in front of me.
Yeah.
I think I said this last time. I've lost weight.
Shut up, Sean.
Shut the fuck up, Sean.
Yeah, shut up.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, I know you're the one like orchestrating all this, but like, goodbye.
Yeah,
Can you
you
mute
fucking
me?
jerk off. No one likes you, Sean. You don't have friends. Kyle and I only do this 3 nights.
You know, Mike, you probably grew 6 inches too. I bet if you asked him.
The Kyle.
Sean, answer the question. Did you grow
Well,
6 inches?
Great. I've lost weight. I've grown
4.5
inches. So, what, are you guys drinking the same beer right now? I know you guys reviewed some beers before
so we
this
just
live
did
stream.
Central Artery by Trillium, which is their Helles lager. Really freaking good.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
fucking gorgeous. It's a great beer. Anyone that lives in the area, if they have it, drink it up. It's awesome.
Nice. I knew you guys did the Pop Butcher beers. I didn't realize you did a third.
Yeah, we
beer
weren't going
too.
to,
Nice.
and then I think, oh, okay, now the comments are there. There we go. Now everyone can see the comments. Okay.
Oh, good.
All right, so there shouldn't be a delay though, but all right, people are gonna see the comments coming through. There's got to be a way to do this, like StreamYard. Who the f loses weight during this? Sorry, Max. My wife said the same thing. I'm pretty sure the same exact words. um, yeah, we're trying to kind of get a similar feature set to StreamYard, but a little better quality because StreamYard's quality can be iffy, and we don't have to have the StreamYard logo in the top right corner without paying $25 a month, which is actually like $5.
Yeah,
25 is a little steep.
yeah,
Mr. Moneybags over there, Mike's
yeah. It's
rolling
a
his
little.
eyes. Do you want to pay $25 a month?
I
You want me
picked.
to?
Hey, I'm Michael.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm so wealthy.
Not that you guys care, but I'm drinking the barrel aged 1050.
Oh,
Don't want to ask,
nice.
but there's my. I just, I've been drinking so many hazy IPAs. I'm like, I need something different, and I'm like, oh, I still have 6 of these down the beer cellar, so I didn't have quite enough time to do a beer review before this. So I'm like, oh,
Nice.
something
Yeah,
different.
I just got a comment on the one that I did on the review I did, and someone I don't know if you saw it. Someone they said pretty much this beer sucks since since they went to 12-ounce cans. That the stovepipes were 1,000 times better. I was like, I don't know, 1,000.
That seems
Yeah,
odd to
I
me.
remember. I do like I do remember like the stovepipes being. I don't know. I do remember enjoying them more. They do taste different than the 12-ounce cans, but I'll take the 12-ounce cans all freaking day.
This is
The
great.
review we did was stovepipe cans. Son.
No, no. Oh, sorry, I did a solo review.
You son of a bitch.
Hey, if everyone watching, that just shows you that Mike doesn't watch anything that we do. You didn't even know.
Nope. Nope. Am I basing on it? I'm not watching it.
Fair enough. Kyle, are you caught up on Buffy yet?
No, you know what? I haven't even started it. Yeah.
Weird.
But I did watch all of Angel. No, yeah, I haven't watched any. Sorry. You know what I do want to watch is, and I think you have been watching, is season 2 of Harley
Oh,
Quinn.
yes. I've watched one episode so far, and I think Mike watched one episode, and then we talked about it recently, and it feels like I haven't watched any more. It feels weird because it happened so quickly.
What do you mean it happened so? Like the
Yeah,
episode
like
happened so
no,
quickly?
like that it came back so quick. Like I feel like
Oh, it's
yeah,
the
like I feel
weirdest
like I
thing.
kind of would like as much as and I always think like, oh, I want this to come back super quick, but I feel like now it's like, no, I kind of would have liked a little bit of a breather. You know what I mean? Because it feels
Yeah.
like it's just like
Yeah.
season 1 part 2 at that point.
Yeah. I feel like it's just. I feel like it was so manic, so zany, so fucked up. I think I needed a little bit of a break. Like I really enjoyed those first, I don't know, 13 episodes,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good, but like when I started not rewatching. When I started watching the newest episodes, I'm like, oh, I probably could have used a few months between these. I feel like a dick saying that, because honestly, in the 90s, I would have like killed for this
Yeah.
type of content,
Yeah.
But we can't help but be in a world where we get Watchmen and we get
Yeah.
Flash, and when we get like 50 movies a year, like you know what I mean. It's like
Yeah.
we can afford to be choosy.
That's a good
So
way
to
to put
speak.
it. That's actually a very good way to put it. I've noticed I've been more choosy with my
Like
TV when it comes to the Arrowverse lately, and like I'm like big on in that whole universe. Like, but there's just now I think I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And the funny thing is, I'm feeling overwhelmed, and Arrow's gone now, so it's like one less show, but I'm still like, this is a lot of fucking shit to watch. But I guess it's ending soon. Well, I mean soon, as in like the Flash's season finale is 2 weeks from now, I think, or next week or something like that, because of their like production is shut down, so all the shows are ending obviously a little bit earlier and kind of abruptly. But yeah, no, we definitely live in a time to be picky.
Yeah.
I
No.
definitely don't really watch any of those shows anymore, but I always buy them on Vudu every year, every time. It's not that I don't want to watch. There's just too much.
There
A
is.
lot
You
of
know,
content.
yeah.
Well, I like that you
And
go ahead, Mike.
go ahead. No, you go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
Well, just to like merge the two thoughts, it is interesting. Like Sean was saying, going back to the '90s, where yay, an X-Men cart or movie. It's like okay, it doesn't quite look like the comics. That's okay. Like and like whatever, those movies are fine. The first couple, whatever. But like, yeah, now to just live in a world where it's like I don't want to watch Legends of Tomorrow. It's like, wait, that exists?
Right?
Like, there's so much content that's a show like that. Guardians of the Galaxy gets made. Like, what world? Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I feel like it's like we are extremely lucky, but I mean, I fear that there will be a time when we don't get any of it. You know.
Well, yeah,
And that's why you have to support it because you're kind of, putting your money where your mouth is at that point.
And that's why even like even though like I tend to shit on a lot of the Marvel movies lately, and you guys get upset with me because you guys have bad taste in movies. Um,
Yeah.
but I always go because I want to make sure they keep happening.
yes,
I
yeah,
um I remember when the Power Rangers movie came out. I was like, I don't want to pay for it. It's like, well, I want these movies to keep happening, so I'm gonna fucking pay. And I'm glad I did. I'm movie wasn't like outstanding, although I don't think it was that bad.
I actually enjoyed it
Um,
for
but I
for
want the movies to
for what it
happen.
was. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. And
yeah,
I enjoyed the Sonic movie. I went to this to go see it in the theaters. I want these movies to keep happening. I couldn't imagine liking a Sonic,
yeah.
but it's good. I'm glad I paid
Yeah,
for it.
no, I think that if I had to pick, like, I think the Sonic movie was great. Like, I watched it with my daughter, which was fine, but like, I thought it was really really fun.
Me too. I thought it was great. Honestly, it was really good. I didn't expect to like it. It's
Mike, is Mike freezing for
to
you,
keep
Kyle?
happening.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
just
yeah,
gonna
he
ask you if
is.
Mike's freezing for you.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, your audio is way better than your video. Your video is definitely like Josh or Chance that are watching Netflix or something like that.
They probably
um,
did. Jen just finished her workday, so she's probably
makes
out there
sense.
watching.
We do have a comment that's asking a question from Max. Everyone's thoughts on the newest reboot of the Batman movie series. Mike, would you like to take that one? The
The
Batman
what?
movie series, so the Pattinson.
Oh yeah, I'm not seeing a single thing about it that I was interested in, including, by the way, the director.
You like the Planet of the Apes movies? What?
Nope, they were all shit except for the first one, which he.
Oh, you're kind of going
No,
really bad audio now too. Do you want to jump in and jump out?
What? I was gonna say
Yeah,
last
yeah,
time that
jump in and
worked
jump out, and then
well.
Kyle and I will kind of correct your. No, no, I don't really
Yeah,
have. Uh, from the pictures, the spy shot. So Mike, Kyle, and I have a group chat with Mike's brother as well. And when the spy shots came out, we all shit all over it. Like it looked terrible. And then
yeah,
once like the actual pictures came out, for me at least, I liked the Batmobile. I liked that it looked a little bit realistic, a little bit more muscle car-y. The bat suit definitely looked way better than the spy shots. But then again, there's also been spy shots from like the Bale movies and stuff like that, and they still looked pretty good for a bat suit and like natural lighting. Like these just looked really
yeah.
bad. So I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm not. Like Batman is my favorite character, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited as yeah a Batman fan, a comic book fan, but I'm not excited, and I don't have a problem with the director. I don't have a problem with him as an actor. I don't know. And like I felt the same way. Like oh, they're gonna reboot
Yeah.
Spider-Man again for the third time, and then I mean that was a little different because he was joining the bigger Marvel universe, sure, but like yeah, it does seem a little oh again already
Right.
okay. I don't know. And Affleck was so good as Batman. I mean, I
Yeah, I
love
would love
that.
to see him get an actual
So
chance at like a full on movie
yeah,
and like,
yeah,
and that
I
was
love that.
like the biggest thing I loved about the idea of when they said that Batman v Superman was going to happen is like he was going to be established. Like we don't have to deal with another
Yes.
like origin story. Like everybody knows who
Yeah.
Batman is. Just give us a Batman that's
Yeah.
established and just badass. And that's what they did. But we never really got
Yeah.
fully to see it. You know what I mean?
Well, and like when it was going to be him directing, I
Yeah.
think co-writing and then starring, and it's like
Yeah.
he's a good
Yep.
director, you know. He committed to that role, and I mean there was no reason to not be excited. And like sometimes it's easier to be excited for things that haven't happened because they haven't
Yep.
disappointed you. There was no leaked footage of him falling off a motorcycle or whatever, but like the Patterson or Pence, what the heck his name is. Um, but like I was way more excited for that. I mean, like, well, I was excited for that. This one, I'm like, oh yeah, it's another
Yeah.
comic book movie, cool. But like that was like, yes, awesome director Ben Affleck making a Batman
Yeah.
movie, yes.
And it's way too soon. I feel not. I don't know if way too soon, but it is very soon off of what's going on with everything. Like it's they could have waited. Yeah.
It was quick.
I think the fact is that Justice League underperformed in a big way, and they're just trying to get money back. You know, they.
Well, they're
I
definitely
think. I think that they hired an overrated director. They hired the actor Robert Pattinson is a good actor. I don't have an issue with him honestly, but I don't like the Bat and the Furious mobile. That does nothing for me.
Fair enough.
I don't like the suit that they've come up with. Um, I mean, maybe when we see it, I'll change my mind. But I'm not writing the movie off. I'm just not
Yeah,
excited.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. No, I get it.
And considering that like I am like a fucking retarded Batman fan, you know what I mean? But um, but I don't know. When I saw the Heath Ledger, I thought that was going to be a bad choice of that
Oh
for a
yeah, I thought
Joker.
that was
So
gonna be
I mean, who
freaking
knows?
brutally
Maybe I'm wrong.
terrible, and we were clearly all wrong on that
Yeah.
one.
It goes back to Keaton, like
Mr.
the
Mom.
idea of him being a good. Yeah, I mean seriously, like I mean, so yeah, I definitely try to be open minded when it comes to casting.
Hey, hey, I didn't complain. I didn't complain about Keaton.
You're what, 5? Come
Don't judge me.
on. I didn't complain either, but like, I know that was a big thing. People did complain at the time, yes, because I was 5 or 6, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, whatever. I'm cautiously optimistic. How
I
about
like it.
that?
All right, Kyle. All right, Kyle.
Well, I'm thinking back to when we did
That'd be a review.
the beer review. Yeah, the Hot Butcher vanilla one.
Yeah.
You two were very cautiously optimistic, and I was all in. And 2 out of 3, that delivered.
I cannot be cautiously optimistic. Honestly, like I don't mean that like it's gonna be shit or anything, but like I I I don't understand why anyone gives a shit about those Apes movies. They were garbage.
Which movies? I'm sorry.
The Apes movies.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, I was such a big fan of the original, so like it was cool, and the Burton one I thought was fine. So I was like really excited, like, oh, maybe they will make another cool Planet of the Apes series, but
Well, the first one I thought was okay, but that wasn't him.
yeah,
That was Rupert. Who was that?
What the first Planet of the Apes?
Is it,
Oh yeah, right. You're right. It wasn't him, right?
no, yeah, the good one wasn't him.
wasn't
Rupert Wyatt.
okay, okay.
And I thought that was good. Actually, I think the other day Chandler watched it. And
That was one with
it was good.
James
Or either
with
her
James
or
Franco.
Josh, one of them.
Yeah, he wasn't
Yeah.
in any of the others, right?
Nope.
Maybe like some. I think that the one had some like pre-recorded footage of him or something for a moment, kind of a thing. If I remember correctly. But yeah,
I
no,
thought
not in it.
Yeah, I thought that one was good. The other ones, I mean, not that they were bad. They were fine. Like,
Yeah.
they weren't anything where I'm like, oh god damn, Matt Reeves is the man. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I guess Matt Reeves is serviceable for ruining a good franchise. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't have an issue with him necessarily. I just don't know why people are excited about him. It's just a really weird thing. Like, oh, look at all the good movies he didn't make. All
Yeah, I
of
don't
them.
think I was ever excited about Matt Reeves. Like, I was more just excited for another shot at Batman, because originally
Yeah.
when they first announced it, it was still Affleck attached. He just wasn't going to.
Yep.
So I was excited for
Yeah.
that point.
Right. But did you ever see like Gone
Yeah.
Baby Gone? Movie's like
What did Matt?
outstanding.
Yeah.
It's
Did Matt?
ridiculous. No. That was Affleck.
Affleck directed
Yeah.
Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah. No.
Wait, no,
Yes.
Gone Baby Gone. Or sorry, I'm thinking of Baby Driver. Gone Baby Gone. Yes, I have seen
No.
Gone Baby. Yeah, that movie's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, he's a really good director.
You know, so I think of all the imagery of that movie, because that movie is like, first of all, the book is good. I was lucky, or I don't know, I read the book before I ever saw the movie, and there are clear deviations, but the general story is pretty much the same. The main outline, the main plot is pretty much the same. It's a lot of the side stuff that's very different. But like that book's really, really good, and the way he was able to translate it to the screen is like awesome. It like had so much really, really disturbing imagery without being gross. It had a very, very dark story. I like the really ambiguous kind of ending where it's sort of fucked up but sort of good, and he can paint with really, really interesting brushes, and I don't think that Matt Reeves, who is fucking mediocre as shit.
You never know. You could need maybe he needs a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Serviceable is a good term for it.
Yeah, we do have a comment from Max
Okay.
again. So he was saying to keep the superhero movie conversation going. What do we think of Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, Matt.
He said so. Max said he went into it with low expectations and thought it was incredible. I didn't go in low expectations, but I'm sort of on the same way. I didn't go in expecting a lot. Like I expected it would be really fun and whatnot, and I honestly expected to be like, okay, this is probably maybe a movie I would watch with my daughter or something like that. But I was, yeah.
It was dark.
It was very well animated. Like the animation techniques, like if you watch any of the behind the scenes stuff of how they did some of it, it's incredible. Sony went all out.
I thought it was outstanding. I thought it was maybe the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen, honestly.
Yeah.
It's amazing. No, it's amazing. Well, and like I knew going in that I was gonna like the animation just from the trailers, but yeah, the story's solid, the action's solid, the pacing. I mean, it's so good. Yeah, no, it's phenomenal. Yeah.
And it stands up to rewatches too.
I have to rewatch it though. I'll have to rewatch it.
Yeah,
is it still on Netflix?
Yeah, because at first I remember we were in a before it came out, we were in a movie, and the trailer came on, and Carrie's like, "That's a thing." That's my wife, for anyone watching, and I was like,
"That's your impression of your wife? Wow, that's a thing. This exists in the world? Wow. Okay."
She's definitely not watching this thing. Thankfully, and I was like, "Yeah." So, and then it came out, and I already watched it with Kaylee, and then she's like, "Hey, I actually heard it was supposed to be pretty good," and I was like, "Yeah, I've been telling you that. You just don't listen to me." But then again, I don't listen to her about good movies either, so I guess it goes both ways. So she's like, "I kind of want to watch it." I was like, "I'll watch it again."
Honestly, Sean, I think the people are just surprised that we're not that age. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's some of that out there on the internet. I'm sure there's some Nerdsense erotic fan fiction. Yeah.
The day we find Nerdsense /fic is when we know we've gone big.
Well, May 1st will be the day I start writing it. So.
Well, I was gonna say, if I start looking up, I've seen some by Professor Wolf. I'm like, wait a minute.
It's funny. Yeah, the Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, just. I don't know if to back to the kind of the original thought. Like, I don't know if people went into that with low expectations, if that was the norm for people or not. But you only heard positive 100%. Things. I feel like
I was very disappointed when when it was first announced and it was going to be animated. I was like, meh. I'm like that. The premise sounds awesome, but I want live action, which is weird because I have no problem with like animated movies and stuff like that as a whole. but for some reason that like kind of maybe like it's probably going to be too watered down. Like this is the first time we're going to get Miles Morales in a Spider-Man movie. Like why are we going
Yeah.
to do that? And then I was like, okay, well, I whatever I thought originally was dumb.
Yeah, but then we get honestly the most Spider-Man
Exactly.
movie of all time.
Yeah.
Like it is the
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man movie ever.
Yeah. It's so
It,
good.
and you know the thing is too, and this is not Sony's fault because Sony didn't do this, but like where Marvel has had a lot of home runs in their live action department, their animated movies are generally shit. They generally shit. Think
Oh,
about all
yeah.
yeah, any of them, like the
But those
Ultimate
aren't Marvel
Avengers or
though.
whatever the
Yeah.
hell those were
Those
called.
weren't Marvel, were they?
No, but no, they're
Right,
Marvel
but
property
Marvel
though.
wasn't producing them.
Marvel didn't do
Right, I know.
Spider-Verse. So no, what I'm saying is like
Oh,
those
yeah.
types of things, like those Avengers movies and the Iron Man movies and the whole, those are all
Oh
shit.
yeah.
They're all really bad. So like, I guess another one, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then you go see this thing, and it is really good. And Miles Morales could not have had a better debut in
Yep.
format outside of comics.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And
Oh,
Peter was
perfect. Yeah,
awful
yeah.
and
No,
and
right.
awesome.
He was like
Yeah.
the perfect
Eh,
like. All right, I've been doing that, and
Yeah.
it was like what we went back to saying about Affleck's Batman. He was already in the role. What we didn't have to deal with like the regular original Spider-Man
Yeah.
origin story was like Peter Parker just being like, I've been doing this for fucking way too long, guys. All right, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But you know what I liked about it most is like they did not give a shit what you knew or didn't know. Like Spider Gwen, that's just a thing.
yeah,
Get over
Spider
it.
Pig.
Done.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? In Kingpin, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like the style was
Now
out of
I need to
control.
rewatch it
Yes.
again.
And yeah, no, I watched it. I mean, I didn't throw it on. Someone in here put it on, and I watched it a few maybe like a month
Yeah.
ago. I was blown away all over again. The style, it was great, outstanding.
I
Good
feel like
question.
people say like things are layered, like that this TV show has layers, this movie has layers. But I think you bring up a really good point, Mike. Like you could be a hardcore fan, and there's stuff that only those people are picking up. You could be a novice, and it's very accessible for people. I mean, it's just it scratched a lot of itches. It was it was nerdy without driving people away. Yeah, it was so good, funny. Good. I mean, everything. It was great.
Yep, it was so well written, so well animated. It was done.
Exactly. The animation was so awesome. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Cheers,
I was
Rod.
blown away.
Sorry, we
Honestly,
got more comments.
it is. So no, my last comment. It is. In my opinion, it really is the best Spider-Man
It
movie
really is.
I've ever
It really
seen.
great. I don't know. I don't know yet if I would do that. If I would go that far, but I don't even know what I would pick my favorite yet. And Max, I think they are. I think they said they are making a sequel. I think they're already working on it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did say
So,
that. Yes.
that's probably going to be a couple years out, considering animation takes a while. But do you think now this is going to be an interesting question? With all production shut down and whatnot, do you think animated movies would be easier to kind of pump out?
I I actually just saw a thing. There are some animations that are going forward because people can work remotely much easier. Like I think that there's that Scooby Doo
Yep.
movie that's coming out, for example, and I think that had to be finished still,
Yeah.
but they were able to finish it on time. Remember the article? This is probably a week or two
Yeah.
ago. I read that
Because you could
article.
just
Mm-hmm.
take your, whatever beefy workstation you're using to animate, you could take that home with you easily
Yeah,
and still do it all from. So that makes sense. That's going to be interesting to see if that type of thing is. I don't know. Depending how long
yeah.
this goes. Hopefully, it's not that long. But
I was talking to my cousin last night. He lives in Atlanta. He's a gaffer. He's worked on like The Walking Dead, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Girl Trip. So he's worked on some bigger productions, and he was talking about these conversations that they're having, and none of this is
yeah,
solidified
yeah,
yet. I don't have like a big scoop or whatever. But one of the things they're throwing around is they're using this term pods, where the people working on films and TV will be in specific groups. Like each
hmm
group is a pod. So, for example, like makeup, hair, and actors have to interact
right,
face to face, right? Because the makeup and hair has to touch the actor. The director, for example, doesn't ever have to be face to face. It might get a better performance if they can go and kind of show things. So, like the director might be with the assistant, the AD
okay,
or whatever, and like so they're kind of a pod, and they know they can only interact with each other. So like certain groups, and it's just going to be maybe the new norm for a while. Everyone wearing masks except the actors. And you see some of the stuff too, like about like restaurants where, well, the people are eating and drinking, so they can't wear masks, which means all the staff has to wear masks or whatever, trying to like minimize things. So it was just kind of interesting, what he's been hearing through his
That
union
definitely
and
makes sense. I
everything.
can see that. That definitely makes sense. That's
Yeah,
and depending how long this goes, like even if everything does open up, like, and it's still like a valid like concern,
yeah,
like that makes sense to kind of still at least limit it as much as possible if you can kind of group it off and segregate it, I guess. I would
yeah,
have never thought of
exactly.
that's actually pretty damn brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna make these productions, you have to figure out those kind of logistics. One of the things that was depressing before we started was I was talking to Mike about, they just announced today in New York that I will
Yeah,
not be going back into the classroom this school year, and I know a lot of states have already announced this. But yeah, same kind of thing. Like, what does it even look like? Can I pass
right.
out papers to kids? Can I, have them sit at the same desk a kid sat at the period
Ooh,
before
that's a
without
good
wiping it
point. I didn't think
down?
of that part either. Yeah.
Just all these logistics. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Are you gonna be like a
Yeah.
Lysol fairy after every period? Yeah.
I mean, seriously, yeah. Like, and then, is that, I mean, not that I wouldn't do that for their safety, but then like contractually, or am I stepping on someone's toes if I'm the one cleaning? Am I preventing another custodian from being hired?
Yeah.
Like, I could just see like just the
Mm-hmm.
logistics of it. Just a lot of, issues. Yeah.
The word. Yeah,
Anyway, beer's
beer's
awesome. I'm a
great.
big fan of beer.
I'm actually finishing up a cuvee of Cosmic
Ooh.
and Presto Changeo.
Did you guys review them as one review
No, we did
comparing
Cosmic
them?
first, and then we did Presto, and then I
Okay.
was like, let's. And then I said it as a joke because I didn't think Mike wanted to do it. I was like, we should blend them, and he goes, let's do it, and I was like, okay.
So are you going to release that as a third separate
Do you think
video?
it's long enough?
I think it's better. I think it's better to do it, even if
Yeah,
it's
that's a
even
good
if it's
point.
2 minutes. Just
Sean, you need the
Good
content.
point,
You know
Kyle.
this.
I'm, I'm just gonna start like crediting you as executive producer. Are those actual signs behind mic or Zoom background? No, that's those are
nope.
signs.
Actual signs. The tin.
This is a Zoom background though.
My background's real, but
Yeah.
I'm a Zoom person.
They're all tin
Oh,
signs.
Mike, you know it'd be hilarious if we could do it. Damn it.
Nope.
I could take a picture of this and like somehow we could do it so that you could have this as your background or just continue into it. So it looks like
That
we're
would be
together somehow.
amazing.
But Kyle, so when we were doing the reviews, I said to him, because remember that video where like you commented and you said that my signs were going into his signs looked like it was almost perfect?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know how it happened, but it was because I was on the left and my left, his in my right. But for some
yeah.
reason, he's always been on the opposite side now, so there's no way for us to kind of do it again. I don't know what happened, but that would be awesome if we could do that and have like it just look like, yeah.
That'd be really rad. That'd be so rad. Mike, can you see? I have the same Batman one behind your right shoulder. Is that on camera?
No.
No.
Mm, oh, you know what? Is he which camera is he looking at? Because I have a logo over here. Oh, he can't see the logo. Oh, I see it. Right there. Right there.
Yeah.
I see your toys and that's it.
Well, whatever. It's not that exciting. It's just, hey, we have the same thing.
Which one is it?
It's the Batman.
The one next
You
to
can't
Wonder
see
Woman.
that
Yeah,
one?
yeah. I see it now. I see it now. I see it.
Okay.
It's this one, right?
Yeah, behind your right shoulder, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's joining.
Yeah.
Kyle.
A while ago, just for actually, Kyle will remember this. I wanted to actually just basically put hooks on the walls and have three of them behind me and alternate them,
Yeah.
and it just got to just be too annoying. So I ripped everything out and just fucking put a bunch on the walls. This little cartoon nerdy mosaic behind me.
No, it's
Hey,
awesome, man. I
Matt.
love it.
Just talking
going
about
on?
nerdy stuff.
No, not here.
Never.
Not with you guys.
Bullshit.
All right, so first things first, Matt, what are you drinking?
Nice.
Oh, I regret asking that question.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to get this thing to work. The thing that.
I also
Oh,
see
there we
you
go.
put up some
Okay.
foam,
Sorry.
foam sound stuff, huh? Behind you. Oh,
That's been up for a while, actually. It's just that because typically when you see me, I'm not at this angle. Maybe when you look at my normal reviews, but that's been up for a while. But I actually ordered a bunch of like sound dampening stuff, just because I'm bored and
I have a
I
stack
don't
of
know
it over there.
why.
I haven't
But
put it up
I
yet, but I
can.
don't know where I'm gonna. I guess I could probably just put it right behind here. Would probably be the best.
Yeah, I have like because I got a lot of like of reflective shit in here, but it's also on the other side of my wall. There is a that's like the furnace for the whole household. So it's like some when that kicks on, I get like this audible thing. But I uh I got a new microphone, so I'm just trying to make it sound as nice as
It actually
possible
does
without
sound.
sounding
I
too
was actually gonna
shitty.
say you do sound different. It sounds very very clean and clear.
Yeah, I got one of those fancy.
Oh, you have a
Here,
you have a.
where is
Oh
it?
wow, over the head. Oh wow, you went nuts. Look at you.
Yeah,
This
one
is
of these.
production, ladies and
Well,
gentlemen.
Yeah, there you go. And I just broke it, so there you go. That's what they're dealing with right there. But it's not super expensive. We just thought it'd be fun, try something new. And it is what it is. So, what about you guys? What are you guys drinking?
right now I just finished my beer, so I guess I'm gonna go get another one. Everyone else go go, and then I'll go get another beer.
Yeah.
I do the same, honestly, but I can do it with my headphones connected, so I'm gonna go do that now.
I'm drinking a BA 1050, and actually Sean and Mike had reviewed a couple Hop Butcher beers, and then they cuvee them. So Sean was finishing up a cuvee of Presto Changeo, and I forget the name of the other can. But yeah,
Okay, nice.
you know that Hop Butcher life.
It's the best life.
Their stuff's so good. Yeah, we were trying to get Jeremiah on, but he couldn't make it tonight. So
Yeah, he's one of those people that have like a family and kids and shit.
that's
So
literally what he said. He texted me. He's like, or emailed whatever it was, and he's like, "Yeah, dinner time. Sorry." It's like, no, I understand. Like, literally right now, my family's eating dinner, so I totally get that. Yeah.
So I
All
just
right,
grabbed a beer. I'm grabbing it's Greater Good Smooth.
was it greater good? What?
Smooth.
Okay, I don't know that beer.
It's outstanding. So there we go.
Is greater good
Um,
the name of the brewery?
yes,
Okay.
they do like I think they only do imperial style beers. I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
see, you know what I just noticed because we were talking about messing
Yeah.
with things, Sean, is that you notice how I'm like shifted up versus everybody else.
Are you looking at the? Are you looking at
Do you
Google
see
Meet
that?
or are you looking at the stream?
I'm
Okay.
looking at Google Meet. Am I shifted up? Like, is there a black bar below
So
me?
hold on, I had to switch to Google Meet. No, you're fine. Because so I have it like
Oh, I am.
so what I'm streaming is different, so I have to stretch it a little bit because to like get it like
Well, no, I thought it was maybe a residual like setting from Streamlabs because I have everything pushed up in Streamlabs, so that way you don't see the Google Meets
oh
bar underneath and all that kind of stuff. So it looked to me like that bar is
no, it's
still
not.
there.
No.
Anyway,
But no, that's an interesting
okay.
and I did have a disclaimer for everyone that joined that this is just for testing. So if we want to talk about that type of stuff, I'm cool with it. The chat doesn't seem to be loading as quick as I wanted it to, or as quick as it did when I tested with myself.
So when you're playing with yourself, it went
Correct.
faster. Okay, gotcha.
I think that it has to do with the bandwidth, because when you're doing it yourself, you're broadcasting out and that's it. Here you're actually broadcasting in, grabbing, then
Yeah.
broadcasting back out. So I think maybe it's just a
Yeah.
bandwidth thing. To be perfectly honest with you, that'd be my guess.
But overall, I really do like the Streamlabs OBS over regular OBS. I think for recording, I may still just use like when Mike and I just do, or like when Kyle and I, or if any of us do like just reviews. regular OBS is easier, but Streamlabs is better for streaming for like more live content. Like I can take away things and move stuff more easier. And I have the chat right here, which is great. But I think if there's a way to get the actual chat like in StreamYard where we can, highlight a chat and bring it up, that's the end all be all of not needing StreamYard.
And it can be done. I know it can be. I just don't know enough about
I've looked it up.
to be perfectly
There's
honest.
no way to do it directly in Streamlabs. Like there's a few feature requests and no one's done it, but I think you can do it with like there's certain ways you can do it. It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm actually there. I'm good now. I forgot my my meets thing was on 360, not 720. So yeah, much clearer. So there you go. So yeah, what's going on? You guys just talking actual beer stuff or just nerd
We were talking
shit?
about comic book movies and whatnot for a while. It was
good mix of both, probably. I mean, we talked some beer stuff and.
What's the best comic book movie ever in history of mankind?
Ooh, jeez. That's like
the answer.
Like, who's your favorite kid? But I actually care about this.
No, genuine.
To me, the not the best movie based on comic book material, but the best movie to me that encapsulates what a comic book could be on screen is the first Avengers movie.
No, I'm asking what's the best movie that just so happens to be a comic book movie.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Like not necessarily like it was true to the tale or it showed you from like the actual movie itself. Like if you just stripped away that it was a comic, you'd be like, that's still a fucking fantastic movie.
That's a good question. Shit.
I'm still thinking.
Sorry, my family's being annoying. I had to respond. I'm sorry. So wait, best film or best
film that's based on a comic book property, regardless if it's accurate to the comic book.
Yeah, it's the film itself is fantastic, regardless of it being a comic book movie. You know what I mean? Like,
so I think of like Star Wars, where my favorite one's A New Hope, but I understand Empire Strikes Back's a better film. So I could see someone arguing
that's not a comic book movie though.
No, but so I could see someone saying something like, "Oh, Joker's the best film based on a comic book character or whatever," but like that's not, in my opinion, the best comic book movie. So like, that's why I wanted the clarification.
I gotcha.
Man,
it's really tough.
Matt, you're backwards.
I mean, you know what's a really good fucking movie that no one did?
Yeah, you're mirrored, Matt.
I can fix that. Give me a second.
All right, Mike, go, because this is like eating me up, man.
No, it's not that. It's all right. There are two movies that I know of that a lot of people I know. You guys probably, Sean definitely knows. A lot of people don't realize that comic book properties that are really, really good movies. And one is Road to Perdition, and one is From Hell. Those are really good.
I just started reading,
nice.
Mike.
Oh, nice.
Road to Perdition, is that Tom Hanks film, right?
Yeah.
And From Hell is Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have those for sure. Man. I mean, I still go back to like the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, that second one. It's probably might be the one I've watched the most, because part of it's just duration of time.
Is that Dr. Octopus?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Man, I don't. Man, this is like hurting me to think about. Like, this is giving me anxiety.
It's really difficult.
I really like the Ed Norton Hulk film.
But like more than like Dark Knight. I mean,
yes.
Really?
That was like to me. That was like the go-to, like almost obvious answer. That's why I was curious to see you guys struggle with it so much.
That's why I said
Of the Nolan films, The Dark Knight was my least favorite.
No,
but that's just you being Mike and wanting to hate shit. That's
no, because I
ever spoken.
I don't hate it though. I don't hate it. I feel like the movie itself is the least consistent of the three. I feel like the moment the Joker gets captured, the last half hour is a fucking waste of time. It could just be chopped off, and the movie
Well,
would
yeah,
have
that's true.
worked. It would have worked better, in my opinion. I feel like where I think that Dark Knight Rises has more continuity problems. It's more fun for me to watch, and Batman Begins, I other than the suit, I don't know where you find a problem in the movie. To me, it's other than the suit looking a little bit wonky and around the neck. The movie itself is pretty flawless.
Batman Begins is the best Batman movie in my opinion as well. So
I
I totally
I think
understand.
that's easy. I think I agree with you. I think it's the best one.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite one, just my favorite one is Guardians of the Galaxy. It has significance with my wife and I, things like that. I can rewatch it a billion times. Like that's my favorite one. But yeah, the one I think is the best. Yeah, it might be in that Nolan Batman Begins world. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's a
Man,
hard
Matt,
question.
this sucks. That's a tough
What hey, no hard questions, just hard people.
dude.
What yeah. What's the how do I put this one? This is something I think this would be a good one for one to play around. If you're gonna pick a movie, it doesn't necessarily have to be a comic book movie, but what was the movie that when you watched as a childhood? So it was basically childhood IP. So something that you liked about childhood, and you watched a movie about it that kind of was like you were like, oh shit, you're an adult now. Like almost like the movie was grittier than what you. It was a little more honest. It was a little bit more realistic. It was a little bit more grittier than what you grew up on. You know what I mean? Like the characters were portrayed to you as a kid in cartoons softer or something like that. And then once you grew up and you watch a more adult version of that Saturday morning cartoon, but in a movie format, you're like, wow, that's crazy. Did you guys have any of that? Or because I have a distinct memory in my brain about this. This is like, I don't want to say
Turtles.
Turtles and Batman.
Turtles.
It's scarred
Turtles
me.
and Batman, yeah.
Turtles,
and
yep.
Batman.
Yeah.
How adult
Yeah.
they are, but how skewed for kids they
Well,
were.
the cartoons compared to the
That's
movie,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me, it was the original first animated Transformers movie.
Interesting.
Because
Yes,
have
yeah,
you guys
yeah,
ever
of course.
seen it?
Yes.
Okay.
The
You
animated
have to
movie.
understand. Yeah, the first one that came out in like the
86.
80, like
Yeah.
the late.
87. Yeah,
86,
86.
yeah,
Okay.
either one.
Yep.
As a child, me growing up, nobody ever died,
Yes. Yeah.
and nobody ever died in Transformers up into that movie.
Yep.
So you have to understand it. Like literally within the first 5 minutes, you have these main characters you love as a child getting toasted.
Yeah.
And like not just dying, like turning gray and rusting and shit. You're like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like as a kid, you're just like, I don't understand what's going on.
The main character died.
Yeah, and you had it, but up until then, nobody died in anything.
Yeah.
You know, it was like crazy. I was like, as a kid, I was like, this is fucking nuts.
Yeah. That's a
very
great
good point.
pull. Yeah, I mean Optimus Prime dying, and you're right. Like there are main characters who are on the show who died early on, and then you get to, and it's not a fake death. He died.
No.
I mean, they do retcon it in the show when it comes back, but the movie, it's not like the last Star Wars movie where Chewbacca dies,
That was
but
bullshit.
he doesn't die.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but the movie ends and your freaking hero is dead.
That movie was bullshit, son. You're right.
But yes.
Spoiler alert! I haven't watched it yet. I'm waiting for it to come out.
Oh, it came out in December.
No, no, not in the movies, not in the theaters.
He's waiting for Disney Plus in 3 days for Star Wars Day.
You know what? The first one, and this won't top anything you guys said. All of you guys get better answers. The first one popped in my head was just like Logan, because growing up, like I knew Wolverine was, like I'm just saying like the cartoon from the 90s, like, oh, he was the tough guy in the very PG cartoon. And then they kind of, with Logan, let him go off a little bit more with the R rating. But that is not a better answer than what you guys all said.
Not in the same vein. A lot of the movies that I watch a lot of the shows on the Saturday morning cartoons that I watch and then watch movies of, I sort of already I watched them as a kid too, like Ghostbusters and whatnot, Batman. But it wasn't like, and then it wasn't until I got older when I watched them again when I got older. Then like especially Ghostbusters, like when you watch Ghostbusters, older, like there's so many jokes in there like that I never got. Sure. Like I don't know, up until a few years ago, like. It's true. This man has no dick. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize that. Like I watched that movie a bazillion times, and I just never got the joke as a
Yeah.
kid, and I must have just been like, "That's funny. I don't get what it means, but it's probably funny." My dad laughed at it, so it must be
When
hilarious.
when Sean and I went to see Ghostbusters in the theater a couple years ago, I hadn't seen it in a while. And when what's his name? When was it Ray? Is that
Dan Aykroyd's character.
Aykroyd's guy?
Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's
Oh,
getting
yeah,
like
yeah.
blown by the
That I
ghost
was
in
always
bed or
weird.
something. I was like, what the fuck? I hadn't seen it in such a long time. I
Yeah.
was like,
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
I always assumed
know?
that they were as a kid, I always assumed there was like they were having sex, but I didn't know what oral sex was as a kid. Now it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So someone just said Deadpool. So Guns, Bikes, and Brews said Deadpool. Dead.
Deadpool's always been
never
a zany character though.
Character.
But I think that some people. I mean, if you ever played the Deadpool video game, like you know who Deadpool was. That
Yeah.
game was out of control.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good game, but it was fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you knew Deadpool from like a Hot Topic shirt that said "I have issues" and it's a pun because there's comic book issues about him, and then you go and see the Ryan Reynolds movie, I could see like that person be like, "Oh wow, this is very adult." But yeah, if you know him from the comics, he's a mercenary. He's a he says dirty jokes. He kills people. That's literally what he does. So it's like, yeah, this is him on the big screen doing what he does.
But even I feel like a lot of all the violence was played for jokes. I don't think anything ever felt adult, even though it was adult. It was all played for humor, not in the same way. Although I like Deadpool better. Like Logan, the deaths were finite and it was much more brutal. Even though there were way more deaths probably in Deadpool, it didn't feel the same.
That Transformers one though, man, geez, that is.
I haven't seen that in such a long time. I have to go back to it.
Yeah, the Ghostbusters. I knew the movie before they made a cartoon, so like it was almost like the opposite direction.
I was definitely the cartoon before the movie because I remember seeing the second movie in the theaters. I never saw the first one because when the first Ghostbusters came out, I was 3. It was 86. So I never saw the first one, but I remember being a big fan of the cartoon. And then I remember I definitely saw the movie before the second one came out, but I remember the cartoon was the first like real memory of the Ghostbusters for me.
Maybe I'm misremembering that because I would have watched the cartoon first if that was the case. Okay.
Yeah, I remember the Ghostbusters movie being my first major disappointment of like I can remember as a child because it was like I don't know if I probably went to a movie earlier than that. I mean, I would have been 9 at the time, maybe 8 at the time, but I was like, okay, I probably went with my parents when I was an infant. I have no idea. But I remember distinctly going there, waiting in line, and getting 5 people from getting in, and them going, "We sold out." So it's like in my brain, like as my first major like disappointment, like oh my god, I'm like as a kid, I think I cried. You know what I mean? Like
what do you mean I can't see that right now? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I can tell you the theater. I know exactly where it's located. I drive past it every time I go to the shore. Yeah.
That's got to be freaking brutal.
I think my first disappointment in the theater was sitting through Armageddon.
I love that movie so much. It's like it's a horrible movie, but I love it.
I can appreciate it now. At the time, I was like, what the fuck is this? Now I think at the time, especially, it was the 98 or 99, right? Around that time.
Yeah.
And I think that I wasn't ready for that kind of schmaltz. Now, as an adult, I can appreciate it for what it was. But at the time, it was just fucking weird to sit through.
Okay, what's you were talking about like just being like I can't believe I was there, like it was that shitty and you hated it. Was there? Do you guys have a distinct you walked out of a movie? Have you ever straight up walked out of a movie?
I was gonna bring that up.
I have fear.com.
No,
I have
fear.com.
What?
Yep.
Fear.com. Mine was Matrix 2.
Oh man, that movie
Funny thing, I just rewatched The Matrix like 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
the first one is fantastic. That's why I think I walked out of the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like literally. I was sitting there and I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and I'm sitting there and I got maybe about a third halfway through, and I just said, I'm just gonna go play some video games, and I like just went into the arcade in a theater and just played games. I was like, I'll wait for you out there. I'm like, I
Yeah,
just can't.
It was pretty bad. I remember Revolutions was a little bit better than Reloaded, but
Yeah. But the first
Yeah,
one was so much better
course.
than any of them. It was like the
Yeah.
drop off.
and
was
like I'm
that
excited
much.
for 4, but I don't know. It's just it's a very great
Uh,
premise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but the reason why I think it'll work well now is because that kind of, I don't want to say sepia, but that kind of weird tone coloration of film, kind of dark and dreary thing, is what everybody
Mhm.
does now. So it's very John Wick like. It's all that kind of like neon, but also drab at the same time,
Yeah.
kind of thing going on, and that's what everybody does so well. Not putting it down, I enjoy it. So I think it'll
Yeah.
work out really well.
Yeah.
I think it will. But one of the Wachowskis died, right? Did they die?
Did they?
One of the
No, I don't
Wachowskis?
think so.
I don't think so. I don't think
No,
so.
Am I
one of
okay?
them's involved. They're both alive.
Okay. For some reason, I thought one died because I know, like, I don't know what. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
But only
This
one's
is how our
involved.
subscriber
I don't know
count goes
why.
up. Nerdsense reports that one of the Wachowski brothers or sisters died.
That's funny. Around the time of Armageddon, there was like those other disaster movies, and all my friends walked out of one. There was a lot of like ice or like climbing a mountain. I don't remember what movie it was, but I'm
Avalanche.
like, no, I paid to see this. I'm like, that's fine. I'll meet up with you guys later. Like, I paid. I'm going to sit through this nonsense.
It might have been the one that I liked. There's that shitty one, the Gyllenhaal, The Day
Oh
After Tomorrow.
yeah.
It was
I
for
love that
Oh,
shitty movie.
that's an okay movie. I saw that. That's okay.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
no, it
That's
wasn't
okay.
that
And then
I
one.
wasn't there like a
Uh,
Stallone movie where that with a bunch of ice where he was like,
Clip it.
Yeah, it
was
wasn't that
Cliffhanger?
one.
No, that was
either.
different. That wasn't a disaster movie. You're right.
I can tell you, all right, the two worst movies I've seen in theaters. Not the two worst movies I've seen. The two worst movies I've seen in theaters was that the first Rob Zombie movie, House of a Thousand Corpses,
Uh,
and that Lemony
Oh,
Snicket's.
Jim Carrey.
So bad. I know there's only one movie I've ever walked out of, and it wasn't because of any. It was terrible, but I went to go see with a neighbor, and it was dumb. It was a. I don't remember what it was about. It was called Dear John. I don't remember what it was about at all. I wasn't paying attention, and we ended up walking out after like 25 minutes.
isn't that like the same? Isn't that like based on the same a book by the same author did like the Notebook and stuff?
No fucking idea.
How do you know that, Kyle?
Yeah. Well, I'm very in touch with literature, so
What's worst movie you ever seen?
Ever? Period.
Ever.
Ugh.
Ever.
Oh Jesus.
Godfather. So boring. That movie is so
Mike's having a heart attack.
boring. You just like, and then you know what? No, that's not true. That Irishman movie, because that was even worse. It's just like, when is this
But
stupid
Kyle,
movie
you
gonna
don't
be
like mafia
over?
movies though. You
Yeah,
said that multiple times.
not even,
So,
not even,
so wait,
a,
so
not
if
even
you
that
don't like
much.
mafia movies, why did you even watch The Irishman? I can see Godfather because maybe you didn't know you didn't like him back then.
I don't know why I watched The Irishman. There was a bunch of family members, and we just sat down and watched it. Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't like mafia movies, and Godfather's amazing.
It's so bad. It's boring. It's long. It's. Ugh.
When Kyle says he doesn't like mafia movies, he means he doesn't like good movies. Jesus. Jesus. I cannot handle that answer. That's wrong.
I don't like The Godfather. I don't like those movies, those kinds of movies. But I did just
Oh,
say
I
it to
know,
get
and
Mike
I
riled up.
still love
So
it just when you do it.
everyone watching at home, I don't need death threats in my email. It was just.
Well, you'll be getting them from me, all right, buddy?
Well, and you're going to be getting a lot of Nerdsense erotic fan fiction from me. So.
Ooh.
Personally, I'm excited to find out who the top and the bottom is. So
Me too.
So Sean, myself, and no, actually Matt too. So three of us just opened new beers. Perhaps we should just quick say
I like
what we're
it.
drinking.
Drinking Falconer Pale Ale. I think.
Nice.
I know you've had this, Kyle. I think this might have been. Did I send this as a mystery beer to you?
Oh, you might have. I forgot. I was just thinking how we
Mhm.
went there with Beer Tuber Palooza, but
And you guys might have got this as a mystery beer too, right? Did I sent mystery beers to you guys, right? Did I send mystery beers? No. Oh, I didn't
it was
include you.
Oh.
me, Joe, and Joe, and then I sent to Nerdsense.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Here's
that's
one
what
of
it
my
was.
paying it
But
for.
you guys had this beer because
Yes,
you went to
that
Zimmeister.
was that.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
great though,
Yeah.
too. So
Actually, the one I'm cracking after that is my first one in this
Ah.
series. I haven't had one of these yet from any
So
of the breweries
I'm
yet.
picking-
So this is
Yeah,
this is the collab that
Right,
other half
right.
is doing, where it's that other half started, to where it's like all the proceeds go to.
See,
so it's
so-
7% pale ale. It costs $20. The point is you pay
It is all
extra
the
and then the money
proceeds,
goes
right?
to like.
Is that the other half?
it is all the proceeds,
What?
right? It's all profits.
I shouldn't have said that. I don't know if it's proceeds or all the money. I don't know what.
Okay.
I don't know the exact wording. I know what you're getting at
Because
though.
we have a local
Yeah.
brewery that worded it very strangely. What's going to the charity?
Like profits
Well, it
versus
said
proceeds.
It's $1.50 per can, and I sent a group text to Mike and another to read, and I was like, and this is a brewery that we shit on all the time, and I'm like, they can't even get like the fucking charity wagon right, like they're not even doing what they're supposed to be doing at this point, like, but
Well, there's definitely breweries out there that are doing it just because they'll loosely be
Right.
associated with other half, or they're doing it because they'll see a spike
but
in
Mike made a good
sales.
point, and he said,
you know,
what if
there's-
$1.50 is the profit? And I'm like, yeah, but it sounds way fucking better if you just say all proceed or all profit goes to the charity instead of $1.50.
Yeah, because profit, and proceeds are all the money, right?
So I think it's
I
profit.
forget how that
Though. I
works.
think it's
Anyway.
profit because I don't think they're expecting them to like eat the
Yeah,
cost.
lose money.
Well, I think proceeds is profit because I think gross is all money. Proceeds is, I don't fucking know.
Gross is everything, and that is what you
Yeah.
take home after all your expenses.
Either way.
Yeah.
Right.
No, gross is Kyle not like a Godfather. What?
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry, Kyle.
But
I hate everyone right now.
I'm on your
No, what are
side,
you
Mike.
talking about?
I just said it's gross as Kyle not liking Godfather.
Oh, you know, Matt, you clicked out. All I heard was gross is Godfather.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I'm on your side, buddy.
Oh, awesome. Good. Actually, weirdly, on Sundays, Sean and I have been like watching the Godfather saga, like 2 hours at a time. It's like
That's great.
it's a full like
8 hours. It's the whole movie,
One-
putting all the movies in 8
just
hours or
one and
something
two.
like that, right?
Just the first two.
the first two.
In chronological order.
Okay.
So they have all of the early stuff with Vito at the front, and then you have Godfather Part 1, and then you have the Godfather Part 2 present day stuff, and new scenes.
A whole bunch. I mean, it's at least a third new stuff. It's really cool.
It's like if Kyle
Kyle?
spent like 8
I'm
hours
falling
in
asleep
hell.
listening to you guys talk about Godfather. So, Sean, what are you drinking? Let's move on to something interesting.
Spyglass, tropical entanglement. It's a mixed fruited sour with some mango, guava, and
Passion fruit.
Yeah.
How much does the passion fruit come through? I love passion fruit. That's why I ask.
Passion fruit always comes through like dominant almost on every edition.
Right?
Like if someone's like, I rattled off 5 different things, it's like passion fruit. It's like 80%, and everything else
way
is
less
That's why
mango
minor.
than-
I asked.
I think I would rather have
Yeah.
the mango, but yeah, like the passion fruit kind of comes through a little bit more, and it's got a very tartness to it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna say. Passion fruit almost makes any beer taste like a pseudo Berliner
it
Weiss
is
to me.
very
Exactly.
tart. It's delicious though, and it's only 5%, so it's. And Kyle, I'm actually sorry that I didn't send this. I thought I did.
But
I
you
thought
said
I
the
sent
berry
both,
one,
but
which is
I don't-
delicious. But yeah, to Matt's point, I saw Joe from the Beer Patrol. He had a beer that had the some passion fruit in it. And yeah, like that dominated over all the other fruits because that's and I love passion fruit, so I'm okay with that. But you're right, that's what that does. I'm drinking my second and last can
That
of the
beer was
Blazed
very, very
Orange. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
Now
I
you
was lucky.
The
I,
double
uh,
hop,
what'd you say?
right?
What's up?
Well, Matt, you've had this obviously, but you had
Ye-
it a double version or a double dry
It's a
hop?
Double fruit.
Yeah,
Double
no, the
fruit.
double blaze orange is it's just a bigger beer, I believe.
Okay.
I forget. I'd have to go look. It's a black can with orange lettering, I believe. And but yeah, I reviewed that a while ago, so I just drank both to my head. I'm
It's
like, I'm
so
not
good.
even reviewing these. I was like, oh, I drank one on the air when you guys were around. I forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. It's just such a fun beer. It's not like
Yep.
high class, like highbrow, like uber, like nuanced depth beer. It's not that. It's just it's fucking it's delicious. It's McDonald's in a very good way. You know, sometimes you just want a Big Mac, and if you tell me Big Mac is not delicious, then you're fucking dumb. You know.
Well, that's what I said in my review. I'm like, it has the orange and the vanilla. Like, that's what this has. Like, that's like, yeah, you're right. It's not balanced. It doesn't have nuance. It doesn't have a bunch of complexity. It has the two things it says it has, and it's freaking awesome.
I actually had my very first Big Mac ever about a month and a half ago, and it was awful.
Yeah. And
See, but here's the thing: if you don't like it, then well, I'm not going to say nobody likes it. That's obviously not the case. There's
Yeah.
different tastes. But if you at this time in your life you had your first Big Mac a month ago, then you've avoided it for some reason up until now, and it was probably almost certain. There's no way if you avoided that. That's like saying you avoided a Pepsi until you were your age. Like it's kind of a thing. So if you've gotten to this point in your life and you haven't had it, you build up so much bias against it that I don't think you could enjoy it.
I don't think so. I don't know. I think that there's no reason. Honestly, as a kid, like we weren't allowed to like even. I was never allowed to ever order that when I was a kid. You know, going there with my parents. And as an adult, I never really did McDonald's till more recently, and I just did the quarter pounder. The quarter pounder.
Were you allowed to drink beer as a kid?
Touche.
So you chose to avoid it because it is bad for you. I'm not going to argue that. I mean, that's not the point.
No.
But
it wasn't. It wasn't McDonald's. It was the Big Mac. I was allowed to get the cheeseburger only. You know what I mean? Like,
just weird. That makes this infinitely weirder.
Sean has met my parents. I had a fucked up childhood. Yeah, I mean, like, literally, if I even at like 18 years old, if I went to a restaurant with them, they would force me to buy a kids meal. I'm serious.
I've never seen it, but that totally.
I'm serious.
It's not considering. Yeah, totally, 100%.
Yeah. So like, I mean, obviously, I had my own money. I had jobs, so I would order like my stuff if I went. But like, if I went to a restaurant with them, if they paid, I had to have, even at 18 years old, a kids meal.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, it's not an argument about whether or not Big Mac is good. You could substitute that for example, like Elio's Pizza. Elio's Pizza is not good pizza.
No,
it's not. It's frozen pizza. It's from a freezer. It kind of sucks, but it's kind of really good in its own weird, kind of fucked up way.
I like Elio's.
But it's not good pizza. It's just a tasty thing. Yeah. And that's kind of thing. I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, Blazed Orange is the pinnacle of beer sophisticatedness. You know, no, it's just really fucking good. You know what I mean? It's just tasty, and that's all that matters.
Speaking of that, I used to open a can of this. I don't know. It's 4 quarters. It is a mojito-inspired sour ale with orange zest, juice, and spearmint. It's fucking amazing. It's really good.
Mojitos. Like that's like my favorite cocktail. So
it's really good.
I'd have
so
to
that amount of mint is good, and
the mint is very minor.
Was it as good as the mint and the Lear beer that you had that you enjoyed so much? Swans of Lear that you thought was fantastic.
It's much better than that beer. It's nice. It's nice, tart, citrus. It's a really, really easy drinker for a sour beer. It's really, really good. I'm a huge fan.
Nice.
God, it's so good. So much better than the other one. So much better.
It was nice because Jeremiah did email us after that review, and we swapped phone numbers and all that. But yeah, you could tell that what you had was not what we had, and even if you had the beer at its best, you might not have liked it. But like just that coloring and Matt, even off camera, Mike had taken a picture of the beer, so like it was no like webcam distorted. Like the beer did not look like what Sean and I were drinking. It was
No, I could totally. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, you could tell, and then it happens, from
Oh,
time
yeah,
to
it
time.
does.
It is
And
what
the
it
beer
is.
was what 5 or 6 weeks old at that point, and you get a milkshake, IPA 6 weeks old. It can go sideways, but especially if there's a little bit of an opening.
Yeah, I reviewed this one beer the other day, and it was like the worst beer I had in a long time. It was sent from a guy from Florida, and it was like a session IPA or session pale ale, and it was bad, like bad, like to the point where there was nothing redeemable about it. And then I tried to like talk myself off the ledge, going, okay, why would this be so bad? And then I started to fixate in the review. I was like, okay, well, it's a small EBV beer, but it came from Florida, so maybe in the transit it got screwed up. But then, literally, I stopped saying that because the beer I drank before that I reviewed also, which was a mystery beer, and it was a lower ABV pale ale that was 2 months older, and it was amazing. I'm like, so
Yeah.
obviously transit wasn't the problem. You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
both beers went through the same environment.
Yeah.
You
didn't
know what I mean?
we talked about this on that live chat you and I did?
Did we? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's,
I was surprised when we talked about it. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Because
yeah. So
I do the same thing where sometimes I'll try to rationalize something. Then
yeah,
I'm like, no, fuck that. Whenever I happen, ultimately, whatever is in my fucking glass is how you have to fucking react. Period.
oh
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
oh yeah, yeah. And that's why dating's important on cans. Not so much
Yeah.
not so much for me. Like if I buy a can, like I bought that beer. I bought some beer that was over a year old the other day, and that was my bad because I didn't read the can right. But I didn't review it either. Just because it's not worth it. But at least with you have a date, you have a baseline on it. You know what I mean? Not just for you, but for the brewer. So like if it's a off can, like it's a 2 month old IPA that's so freaking super sideways. I don't care what kind of IPA it is. If it's 2 months old, it shouldn't be sideways. Sans maybe being in a fucking heater on a heater or something weird like that. So at least if you have dating on there, just from a quality control standpoint, like we're dealing with that work right now, a lot of our product has been going out without any kind of QC coating on it. And if we have issues with it, we have no idea who made it, when it was made. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So at least if a brewery puts a date on it, outside of people being date Nazis, if you do get a bunch of beers that come back as often, you're like, okay, we can whittle it down to a specific batch. But then again, there's also like you guys, you both, two of you had Swansaleer and it was fine. The other one had it
Yeah.
and it came from the source. It's probably same batch, the whole nine. And sometimes shit just happens,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, speaking of that,
Honestly, in a weird way, I was really glad I did not like the beer. I feel like at least because all the beer we've gotten from the brewery has like blown me away,
Yeah.
and I don't want to just I don't want it to be like, look at all these awesome beers we get for free, sure. So I was
Yeah.
glad. Because
Perception.
honestly, if anything, like I've always been as honest as I can be,
Yeah.
and I was glad to like at least have something where I was like, this is not for me, and
Yeah.
it's not even that I thought it was bad. It just wasn't anything I wanted to drink. It tasted to me what they were trying to make, even though it looked weird. It tasted to me like what they were trying to make. It just wasn't for me. It just wasn't something I wanted to drink.
Well, speaking of
Yeah.
your love of McDonald's, I mean, it's just a Shamrock Shake beer. I mean, I would think you would love it. Sean, your mic is
oh, I'm muted. Oh shit! Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kyle. So I was
Sean?
like, just thought no one was
Yeah.
listening to me at all.
Poor Sean.
No
No
one
one
wants
cares
to
about what I
listen to
have to
me.
say.
I really didn't have much to say. I was gonna say I didn't like the Big Mac too when I got back, but the only reason I don't like the Big Mac is because I don't like McDonald's onions because I hate onions. But McDonald's onions are like the worst onions ever because McDonald's onions taste like just sweat, gross sweat. But
Delicious
but
sweat.
I'll say this: I've had a Big Mac with no onions and none of their because I don't really like mayo either, so I don't really like the sauce in the Big Mac either. I've had a Big Mac with no sauce and no onions, and I do enjoy it. I don't know if that takes the part of the Big Mac out because at that point I'm just eating burger, lettuce, and bread. So
I was vegetarian for 2 years, and I used to eat Big Macs with no meat.
How's that?
Just no meat, man.
Well, yeah, no, but it's the same thing, right?
You're eating.
Yeah, it's just like lettuce, onion, the special sauce, the bread, the whole nine. There's no meat.
I was just talking shit about Big Macs. They have like an ounce and a half of meat on them, but okay.
Is that
So, what did you guys review today? What did you guys review anything before you came on, or no?
not as a collab? No.
Okay.
There was definitely a miscommunication.
Well, those you guys
Yeah, there was definitely a
reviews, yeah.
miscommunication of what we were supposed to do. Kyle understood it properly. We didn't.
Well, no, well, in Matt, because I had sent Matt a message trying to coordinate some things. Jeremiah from Hot Butcher had thrown out ideas. We were thinking about doing, what's the name of the blue
Cosmic
can
Foundation.
beer? So it's like, hey, do you want to like walk? Because one of his ideas was to walk us through it. So we're like, hey, maybe we can invite him Friday, throw it out there to Matt and Joe from the Beer Patrol as well. Have us come on, and he could walk us through. Not that Joe would do it because he apparently is allergic to live streams now, but
I thought you were gonna say something into the beer, and I was like, "Oh, he's being funny. Go ahead." Yeah.
no, I'm just joking. No. I'm glad he's back, and yeah, he was missed when he was gone, and he's busy, and I do understand. I know he's busy. But anyway, and then Jeremiah was like, I just can't today at this time. Maybe next week. So I didn't review that beer. They end up reviewing this
Yeah,
beer.
essentially, I
anyway.
was like, "Oh, okay, we'll just both review the beer, and then we'll get on the live stream and talk about it." And then we get on the live stream, and Kyle goes, "So what did you guys review?" And I'm like, "Well, we did the one you first did, and then we just did the Cosmic Foundation." And he's like, "I didn't drink it." And we're like, total miscommunication. But the funny thing was,
Yeah.
Jeremiah clearly knows now that we drank it because I texted him asking a question about it after we did it. So next week when if we do that, we have nothing to drink with him blind. Well, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I have the Pilsner. Mike drank his second Pilsner. Yeah,
Because it's fucking delicious. End of story.
That Pilsner is really great.
Well, then he'll just have to send more beer. I see the game you're playing, you motherfuckers.
But that Pilsner was freaking great, right, Matt? That was.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, the first one was fantastic. This one was even better. Even though they're fucking making up shit.
Italian
Country Pilsner.
Yeah, what the fuck is that called?
Okay.
An Italian Pilsner? Like an Italian Pilsner is
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah.
Peroni.
I don't think
Peroni,
a
buddy.
is even an Italian Pilsner. Is it double dry hopped?
No.
I want an Italian Peroni. A real.
An Italian Pilsner is a Pilsner that is made in the United States with a specific hops from a specific region, and none of those hops are from fucking
I heard
Italy.
it was just a double. I heard
God
it was just a
damn it,
double
Matt.
dry hop Pilsner is what an Italian Pilsner is called.
There
It's
of
a
course
totally
it is.
made
Yeah,
up style,
of
but made up styles become real styles. But
Yeah. But like I had at least heard that like one writer who referred to an Italian style Pilsner.
Yeah, it was fucking Justin Kennedy on fucking Steal This Beer when he was talking about Italian Pilsners and Augie made fun of him. That's how you heard of it.
Yes. But like I've never heard of that. Like I've never heard anyone even just mention it until I saw it on that can. So I don't know what that even is supposed to be.
What's a country style Pilsner?
Yeah.
Is it the
Exactly,
hop?
I don't-
Who knows? 'Cause
Well, technically, from what I read, is it's after you've sold all your Italian Pilsner and you need to have a new name for a beer that's not Italian Pilsner. You call it Country Pilsner, so it sounds like a new Pilsner that everybody can get hyped over. That was my understanding.
Yes.
Nice,
I
nice.
love it.
Too funny, too funny.
It's harsh.
The truth is yeah.
No, I mean, everyone kidded about the country style pills, but regardless, it was really good. It tastes really good.
It really did.
I woke up today, as a side note, I woke up today and I saw I had an old post from I turned up my volume a little bit. I don't know if it's too loud. Okay. I saw in a memory that like we interviewed my old radio show. We interviewed Trillium, JC from Trillium. It was 4 years ago today that we interviewed him, and it just like going back and actually looking at the post. It was crazy because only 4 years ago we interviewed him, and 4 years ago all their beer was still in 750s.
I saw that
Oh,
picture
yeah.
too, but yeah.
Yep.
Only 750s, and it was like I was like, that's only 4 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, don't like think about it. Trillium went from that
Mhm.
little fucking coffin about
Yep.
this fucking big. You know what I mean? That you have to buy beer. It was like literally cans and growlers to go, and it was like a coffin in that place to what they're doing now, and in only 4
Yeah,
short
it-
years. It's insane because even if you think about the wage thing that they went through when they cut wages
like
and they
2
weren't
years
people
ago?
pay people, like it feels
Mhm.
like an eternity ago, and that was let's say that
Yeah.
was a year and a half ago for the sake.
On too. But we are talking about Kyle's hatred of Enigma, and we are talking about and Mike was on. We are talking about Enigma 4 and I was like, I specifically remember drinking Enigma 4 when Trillium was still making bottles, and it was before my daughter was born. It was
Yep.
so probably about almost close to 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, where I remember sitting in the room drinking a bottle of it when they were still bottling beer, and that just made me think of the same thing that you thought, that like it's just like that they were still bottling at that point, which is freaking.
You get the sweet bottle
Yep.
on date sticker like from
Yeah.
a gun, like a gun. You would get it to
And the best
and
part
just be
was
like, eh.
when they were bottling, they were distroing too. Like I remember walking into beer stores. Mike
Yeah,
and I would walk into beer stores and
I was
grab
gonna,
bottles off the freaking shelf.
yeah, I remember going to get
And it
like
was
big spraying in Andover, like in Fort Point
In bottles,
Andover. These big ass bottles. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
and wasn't it. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong, but wasn't it pretty cheap? Like a bottle of Pot and Kettle was like what, like $6-8 or something like that for a 750. It was
It was
I don't
it was
remember.
relatively cheap. It was cheap.
yeah.
The funny thing is, pot and kettle. There is a bottle next to the wall over here, like back in like the old, like the back of the basement. There is like a old school bottle of pot and kettle without coffee.
Yep.
Now all they do.
Yeah.
The
This is
first
the
time I
only
had
bottle. This is the only one I have.
Hideous Kid
Yeah.
or Sinister Kid.
Sinister Kid. Yeah, it's a Belgian strong dark ale, but it's one of my favorite art from Trillium with that creepy doll on it. So that's why I
Matt, does
kept
that
it.
have the date on it or no? Do you take the sticker off?
Yeah, it is December 3rd,
Nice.
2014.
So I had the same bottle, and I remember, yeah, my friend, I was visiting Boston. My friend's like, yeah, there's some new brewery. Let's go check it out. And I remember, like, yeah, going there, and it's like, yeah, can we do a flight? They're like, we don't do that. It's like, oh, can I try something? But they're like, no, you can buy a growler or you can buy these bottles.
That was after they
And
got
then there was
busted.
like a
That was after
sushi
they got
place.
busted.
Okay. And then there was like a sushi
Row
place, an
34,
oyster
right next
bar or
door.
something
Row
like that.
34.
Yeah.
Row
34.
40. Yeah, right.
Okay,
Yeah.
and they're like, you can. I think it was like there's two of our beers on draft there. If you want to go like try our beer first, it's like okay, like it was just such a weird experience. And yeah, like you guys were saying that it's like they have what 3 locations now.
Yep.
They still have. Did they still have
That's
that
still
location?
there, but it's
Yeah.
not open to the public. Now they're just brewing. And then right across, like literally not right
Okay.
across the street, but like literally like diagonal, is where
Around
the
the
big
corner.
restaurant
Around the
is
corner.
now.
Kind of. Yeah. And then they have the spot on
Yep.
Fenway
Yep.
and the spot in Canton.
And then they're opening up the farmhouse in Connecticut soon. Well, I think it
nice.
probably would have been
Well, I didn't
very
hear
very
about
soon. Oh,
that.
and they also
Jeez.
have the beer garden during the summer.
That's true.
JC did a live stream with it's probably not. That's the thing that's what I hate about Instagram Live.
You can't
Is
get
that
it again.
those
you
aren't
can't get
really
it again,
saved. Yeah, and that's what he did a hour-long live stream with a girl named Michelle. I forget her handle. She's basically the photographer and PR person for Equilibrium. If you see like that craft not COVID hashtag going around and a lot of people doing live streams, it's like a big thing, like of people doing interviews, basically people who work at breweries doing live streams with each other talking about beer and stuff like that. And she was the one that kind of headed up. I forget her Twitter handle. Actually, what am I doing? I'm sitting on a fucking computer. I can fucking look it up like an asshole. But anyway, she did one. I'm gonna see. Was it last night? Let me see.
All right. Hey, I'll be right back.
Her handle is noms and beer. So NOMS and beer. So like food noms and beer. Let me see if I click on her thing if it pops up. if it before it goes down, it'd be a really fun watch. Nah, I don't think it's gonna be. Nah, it's not there anymore. But she did like a hour and a half, 2 hours of live stream with JC, and it was really good. It was like talking about what's in the future and what Trillium's doing and where the farm is and all that kind of stuff.
That's one downside to Instagram. But I've also noticed that when we used to live stream on Instagram, we would get more viewers. So I don't know if Instagram's just it's an easier thing, but like
by far.
you really see like if you're gonna watch something for an hour and a half, right? You're really gonna watch something for an hour and a half on because if you're watching an Instagram live thing, you're watching on your phone. You can't cast it to a TV. Like
yeah, and like no, YouTube's way better. Like last night I watched there was the brewery held a live stream last night, you know, out west brewery. It was the sour program guy from the brewery. It was stuffings from fucking Jester King. It was fucking the sour guy from fucking Allagash. Like it was like fucking king shit of fucking mountain dudes just sitting around for I think they went for like 3 hours just hanging out, not even talking about just sour beer, just talking about beer and just hanging out and shit like that. And now it's on YouTube. Right. Now I can go back and watch that shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Instagram, it sucks. Like I like doing the live streams on Instagram because it seems to be a little bit more engaging. But then it's gone.
So I guess if like that thing that you sent me yesterday, if we can do that, in like at this simulcast, but also get it here too, which would be fine because that would be perfect.
Here's the only thing that I
mean, like if you're looking at this, like,
well, you could do this and then people have to turn their phone to the side. You could do this and then people have to turn their phone to the side. But why do I hear?
Yeah, you just went echoed. Yeah, you just went echoed. So did I?
Well, wait, everyone. No.
That's really weird.
I didn't touch anything. Test.
That was not echoed.
You're good now.
I don't hear myself.
Okay, just must have been a glitch. But with the maybe Mike's frozen. Maybe he had something. It's Mike's fault. Fuck him. Anyway,
liking The Godfather will do to a live stream, man.
But there, like
what
that.
The fuck.
I didn't mess with the Instagram stuff too much, and the problem with it is because in order to stream from OBS to that, you have to change the format of your video stream, so you'd almost have to be running two computers, or a really hefty computer that can handle so many cores. Have Streamlabs running in 2 instances.
Yeah,
it's just too much for
Mike
me.
And I used to do, we used to stream to YouTube here, and then we'd have like a phone streaming to Instagram, and we always found that like I said, Mike, when you were gone, that Instagram was always the more active of the two at the time. But now we could do Facebook and YouTube here, and then we could do Instagram, I guess, now with that yellow duck or whatever you found could be possible. But I don't know how much. Part of me kind of wants to see what would happen if we started beer tubing on Twitch.
Yeah, it almost seems. I don't know. I don't fuck with Twitch all that much. But it's built. It's built. See, the thing with Twitch is it almost seems like it's built for people that want to monetize 100%. Their content. And that's pretty much it. So it's like I don't give a shit. Like it's not that I don't give a shit. If someone's like, here's $10,000 to run this advertisement on your channel for a month. I'd be like, fuck yeah, motherfucker, I'm gonna do that shit. I'll never monetize in YouTube. I'll never click to where they play their videos. But if a secondary company, have you ever guys having anybody reach out to you for that shit? Like I have companies reach out to me for like advertising it, like where I cut a commercial, kind of like a lot of people like do a commercial in feed while you're like filming stuff. But it's like people like, hey, we sell tampons on Amazon. You want to do a commercial? I'm like, I don't even respond to them. Like, I'm not going to do that. But if someone's like, hey man, like we make awesome beer or do something awesome, I was like, I might entertain that shit because money's money. But anyway, Twitch is more like give me $5 or give me $1 and all that kind of stuff. And that's weird. Plus, it's almost like a weird like Point Break server thing. Like the Twitch nerds that love video game be like, get off our turf. Like we're all about video games over here. You know, fucking come up here with your beer, you fucking dummy. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I'd like to see that happen because it would be fun to have beef with some dude with bleached hair and no body mass.
Just playing The
Wow,
Sims
man.
all day. He's like yelling at us.
I wish I could get bullied by a 14-year-old.
Yeah. Be like, yo, my uncle's a fucking lawyer in
Yeah.
Second Life.
If you want to
I'll
get bullied
fuck
by a
you.
14-year-old, go play some Call of Duty or Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
That's too funny, Jesus. All right, we
Oh
cracked
yeah, I
open
already
now,
cracked
Matt.
one open too. Shit.
Set all together.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes down. It's a cool concept. It looks a little malty. It looks a little darker than I expected to be, but it's basically, for those that don't know, it's basically other half's like, okay, we're gonna release a series, and the series is gonna be an IPA. It's gonna be 6.5%, give or take. Obviously, people's beers are gonna finish differently. They sent a base recipe off to each brewery who wanted to participate, and they said, hey, here's the recipe, make this beer, but you're more than welcome to do little tweaks. Just try to keep it within reason of what the original recipe was. And then, like I said, monies from the beer go to whoever they choose to send it off to. You know what I mean? Like there's a couple of people who District 96 did one, and I believe District 96 took all the money and gave it to people that work for them, servers that been laid off and stuff like that. So it's not like you have to give it to the Human Fund or some super legit fucking charity. But it's a good concept. I can see people abusing it, like you kind of alluded to a
I
little
could have
bit.
been wrong, and it could be just literally like the $1.50 that they're gonna donate from every. I don't know if they said can or 4-pack. Maybe that is the profit they're making. Like it could have just been. But I feel like you don't say it like that at that point, right? Like why would you say that?
Well, I feel like $1.50 per can seems
I'm
reasonable
gonna
for
check the
profit.
exact verbiage. Go ahead. You did that per can makes
No,
sense.
that's what you text. That's what you texted.
And I sent you the actual post.
Yeah.
I can't see $1.50 being a profit
$1.50
margin.
for every can.
I can see it.
$1.50 every
per
can.
can.
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh no, yeah, but you're talking about six. So you're talking about $6 for every 4-pack.
For
And I think
margin?
they're all $20 a 4-pack. Everyone I've seen has been $20. You know what I mean? So I think at 20, I think this recipe would cost less than $10 to produce.
So, Mike, that brewery that we were talking about
To be
does
fair,
not say what it is, but I can tell you what the brewery that we both like says what it is.
Well, the thing is, Matt, to be fair, this brewery's in Lowell. No one in Lowell is smart.
So,
sorry, Sean.
Yeah, so the other brewery that I'm going to tomorrow that is in the town that Mike lives in, that everyone loves, that we all love, I'll just say the name Spyglass. Theirs is $4.25 a can. They don't say what they're going to donate though, but they do say that they're part of it. And the brewery is no bullshit. Like I'm not concerned.
Spyglass sounds like a cool brewery. I wish they made something with passion fruit. That's what I wish.
Next time I'll just send you the cans. Yeah, so tomorrow's gonna be my first real kind of trying out of the charity cans. I don't know if I'm gonna get any other cans. Honestly, like I could go get this other can to see if it's good, but nothing else at this brewery has ever been fucking good. So there's no point in me going there.
It's weird. It's like it's almost like a chicken or egg thing. But like the reason why this exists is because of what's going on right now. So I never really ask breweries for beer ever. I did in the past a few times, but every now and then something will come out and I'll be like, hey man, well, I was kind of looking for a bottle, and I'll always preface it with be like, I'll pay for shipping and I'll pay for the bottle. And if someone agrees to send it to me 9 times out of 10, they'll just be like, fuck it, dude, don't worry about it. I'll send it to you. I wish, because it would come off as a scumbag move because of where everybody is right now. I wish I could have like 10 to 20 of
freaking amazing.
These beers. Do like a 20 side by side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're all based off the same recipe. That would be such a killer fucking super
would,
side
but think
by
about it
side.
this way though. Would it also be pretty shitty too? Like if you get like, all right, these are fucking terrible, but they still brewed it and they're giving all their profits to charity. Like these are fucking garbage. You know what I mean? Like,
how dare you
not release it, but like
beer?
they're still giving their profits, right? Like, and you're still like kind of like grading it at that point. It's still a little kind of weird. Like,
Well, I don't know though, because there's a difference between the beers has a bunch of flaws and it's fucked up and you don't like it. Like I not that you want to spin stuff to sound positive, but like if it's hot mess garbage, then you
No, you
can't lie
can't,
about it.
but it's for
But I could,
charity.
but I definitely see, be like, well, this one's too much this one's too much that. I don't know.
These
It would be
last
fun
three
to
are
do.
just
That's
fucking
all I know.
diacetyl ridden.
I just shit on them for. Well, I fuck it, dude. I'd line them all up, put a blindfold on. It'd be free. It'd be fucking awesome.
I pour them all out, and then I put a blindfold on and describe the color that I had seen already. Um, anyway,
Yeah,
um, well, but to Sean's point a little bit, like, but Matt, did you watch the Parks and Rec thing
I
last
did.
night?
I know you
I
didn't ask
What?
Matt,
didn't.
but I did.
I'm waiting to watch it.
So like, but like, it's the same kind of thing. Like Sean's saying, this is an interesting situation to review that beer. The beer should be good. I mean, period. The beer should be good. You're releasing the beer; it should be delicious. But like, it is for charity. So like, do you judge it? So like, something like last night's Park, like, well, they're trying to raise money. It's this weird COVID-19. Everyone's at their house, so like, it's not a normal episode. Like, do you judge the art the same way in that regard when it's supposed to be a charitable thing?
Yeah.
It just, I understand the complexity for Sean. I
But then
guess.
there's, dude, there, like, I get that, but sometimes, man, like, you kind of like, I understand what you're talking about. It's for a good cause, so there's,
Yeah.
there's a bit more leeway you give
Yes,
something, and that way, well, at the same time, you can't just say this is great. Like, you're not going to blanketly say something's great just for the sake of it's for charity. You know what I mean? I'm sure Hitler had charities. Do you know what I mean? So fucking. He
did
probably
have-
did. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So they're not great, you know, but it's one of those things. But sometimes you end up with awesome. Like that's why I was pumped to see a bunch of breweries making
Yeah.
a lowerish ABV IPA. That
Yeah.
was up, you know. I posted this the other day on Facebook. Like I don't fuck, and this is just going back to the charity thing. And sometimes you end up with awesome. I don't fuck with Post Malone. I don't know. I don't, not because I don't like the
I saw
dude.
your post.
It's just because
yeah,
I
go
just
on.
yeah, just because it's just, I'm not into like people call it hip hop. That's not hip hop. Fuck cares. One is hip hop. Fucking Tribe Called Quest is hip hop. That's pop music that under the veil of whatever. But anyway, I never dismissed the dude. It's just not my speed. But he did the live charity thing where he played all Nirvana things, and it was fucking amazing. So it's like, just because it's for charity doesn't mean it's going to be mediocre either. It could be somebody taking something and elevating into something awesome, and it would be cool to do the side by sides to see which breweries did what, because I'm sure there are breweries that mailed it in. I'm sure, and I don't want to say that in a negative way because they're using it for good. But it's also like you're paying $20 for 6.5% IPA. That's 14.50 a 4-pack. So you're already building in that profit to move on to somebody else, and I'm more than welcome to pay it. The whole reason I ordered this beer from Zigmeister today was so I could pay it forward a little bit, so I have no problem with
How
that
much are you saying
payment.
for a 4-pack? Well,
$20,
this other
which is in line what you said. You said it was 4 and change,
which is going to be $17 a 4-pack. Not the shitty one.
Yeah,
but still, 17 is.
But I'm sure. But here's the thing: almost all of them I've seen is 20, and if honestly, it's even at for 6.5% base. Basically, if you read what Other Half did, they tried to make the simplest, non-exotic ingredient beer, so there would be the most amount of profit, so you could benefit more to the people that you wanted to give money to. So again, the money is not the issue; it's just knowing that you're going to be paying it forward.
But I also think if you think about like what certain breweries are going to be paying for their
different
their rent and the space. And I would say for sure Nashua is going to be a little bit cheaper than Lowell for certain things. So even if Navigation was,
you said the name,
I don't know what they're charging. Fuck Navigation, that they make shitty beer. But if they're in, fuck them, I don't give a shit. But if they're in Lowell, the rent might be higher than Northern Nashua, which is right near Merrimack. You know what I mean? So
I bet they're both more expensive than Hackettstown.
That might be true. I know nothing about Hackettstown. But the thing is, the beer at the place right down the street from me, that I can't think of the name.
Spyglass.
Spyglass.
Spyglass. Yeah, the beer's not that cheap. You know,
The cheap
they
guys who have never been there,
yeah.
Spyglass. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm fucking drunk, so that's how that goes. Uh, their beer is not that cheap. You like you're paying for it, but it's quality, so I don't mind paying the money, you know. But I imagine that the space navigation is a lot bigger than Spyglass. I imagine it's more money for them
It
to
probably
have
is.
that space, in my opinion.
I'm just more looking forward to trying like one of the recipes. Actually, Matt, how many of those do you have? Like, do you want to do like a charity swap of all the ones we can all get?
Yeah, I have one. This is the first one I've gotten. To be honest with you, I have like that's it. I have the one. I'll send anyone. I don't give a
Well,
shit.
did you get a four
You
pack
know
or
what
did
I
you just get
mean?
a
Like,
can? Okay.
oh, I got a four
Yeah,
pack.
we
Yeah,
could.
yeah, yeah.
If yeah, and I guess if worst comes to worst, I could go to navigation, get a four pack, and see if it's.
I could still get more. You know what I mean? But I do have a four pack, and I have a bunch of beer mails in the mail coming to me, so I have no need for a ton of beer. Thank you very much.
But no, but you, it would be cool if we could
Wow.
get like two or three, and then my thing, yeah, it is for charity. Let's not shit on it. But I guess if it was a bunch of us like being pretty critical,
I'd be more comfortable doing them and saying, describing them without dumping on them, saying like, "Oh, this has more citrus. This has more berry. This is more this." Instead of saying this is shittier
like
than this
this
one.
one tastes like cardboard, like navigation. No, sorry.
Navigation. Right. My bad.
I think we should just shit on everything for fun, even if it's good. That's my like when somebody's down, just kick him in the ribs extra hard. You know, just like lay into him, be like, "Hey, fucking survival of the fittest, man. Come on."
Wow. Mm.
What do you got, Kyle? Some water?
Yeah, some water, some
Water is
high
good.
test water from. Yeah, I got stuff to do tomorrow, so I gotta make sure I'm
Are you leaving the
feeling good
house?
tomorrow. I don't think we'll have to. We're gonna do a bunch of yard work tomorrow. Weather's supposed to be nice, but I think we have everything we need. Yeah.
I have a rough day ahead of me tomorrow. It's my wife's birthday.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You got anything good planned? Well, you can't tell us unless she's watching.
She won't watch. No, she already knows. I know what I'm doing for her. I just spoil her. You know what I mean? That's all.
Yeah.
Get her favorite foods, get a bunch of flowers, you know, just make her happy. Like it's not complicated.
Nice.
You know what I mean? She's a simple woman. She likes simple things. She likes me. I'm simple, so
Fair enough.
yeah. But her brother, she's a twin, so I gotta hook the brother up too. So
Last weekend was my birthday, and my wife asked me what I wanted her to. She said, "What do you want me to make you for lunch?" And she used to be a chef, so she can make fucking anything. And all I asked her, I said, I want to cook madame with jalapenos, and it was so easy for her, and it was so delicious. It made me so happy. Nice and
I was
easy.
just pissed.
All I wanted was a cook
I
madame
was
with
just pissed that I
jalapenos.
didn't get to go to Vermont last weekend, but that's my problem.
Oh, I know. That sucks. Well,
there's
originally my wife.
nothing before you get too far. There's nothing fucking simple about an omelet. If you want
Oh,
to test a fucking
dude.
cook's metal omelet, I spent
Can
3
you
years
make the
perfecting
origami? Like
omelets.
what's the
It's
omelet?
like
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
the
the
Japanese
Japanese
omelet.
omelet? Omurice.
Omurice. Yeah.
but that's what I mean. Like it's
Yeah.
like omelets in your brain. That's what you think it's simple. No, omelets are like literally like my favorite chef of all time is Jacques Pepin.
Yes.
He's like a French chef.
Yep.
He's
Yeah,
like
I
kind of
know he
like
is.
he very popular guy. And that's like he's like even Anthony Bourdain would be like, yeah, if I hired somebody, I'd be like, cook me a fucking omelet. You know what I mean? Like that's like how you know somebody could really cook. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, no, well, one is I don't know how my voice is carrying, but what she made was a croque madame, which is a grilled cheese with bechamel and jalapenos. Well, I asked for jalapenos. Um, anyway, but my wife originally had planned to. She got a resort in Vermont, invited a few people to come and spend the weekend in Vermont, and all got squashed. and so that's what Sean was just commenting on. Like we were planning on driving all the way straight to Burlington, getting lunch, and getting a bunch of beer in Stowe and Burlington, and then driving back down south to the resort, just drinking ourselves stupid and eating good food all weekend. That was the original plan. Instead, I got a grilled cheese with bechamel.
No, and then we had a Zoom meeting where we had the same delivery food from
Oh,
Thai.
that is true. That is
from
true.
a Thai place, so it was so good.
Yep, it was. No, honestly, I had a good birthday. Honestly, I kid. It's just like what it could have been to what it was. Like,
But these are the days that we live in.
Yeah, that's what I'm. So it's what I'm getting to wifey tomorrow is Thai.
What's your favorite dish?
nice. I love Thai
Yeah.
food.
Oh, what the fuck is she getting again? I forget. I know she always gets a couple things. She loves what we are we going to the Thai place at a there's a place in Hackettstown. The same people own two places. One's Thai, one's Vietnamese. But it's the same, like they're owned by the same people. I forget which one we're going to. Place I'm buying stuff tomorrow. She's gonna get like crab rangoon, some kind of crazy crab rangoon thing or whatever it is, and then like I forget the dish she's getting. I don't know. All I know is the place is
That's all
delicious.
that matters.
Yeah, not like a Big Mac delicious either. Just like real delicious.
You get a nice Thai
Wow.
dish and you just get a Big
Well,
Mac.
so Matt talking about Matt had mentioned like, no, my wife's definitely not watching this. What do your wives think about you doing beer tube? I mean, like Matt, you met your wife while doing beer tube. I started doing it when I was already with my wife. Mike
Yeah,
and
we were-
Sean. Well, I mean, Mike, you've been doing it for a long time, but yeah. So like, what do they think about this hobby?
I don't know
I
what
don't
my
know.
wife actually thinks about it. Like, I know what she tells me, and I mean, who knows? I mean, I think she's glad that I have a hobby, and I'm not like bothering her all the time. You know?
That's probably a fact.
Well, don't your wives like really like that you guys would meet on Fridays and had the routine of it? Like, they're kind of cool with that, right?
But you guys would probably do that if you didn't do this, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd have like it wouldn't be a legitimate excuse. You know what I mean? Like maybe a little bit harder to like be like, all right, every Friday we're gonna go drinking. But the fact that we're saying we're doing beer reviews is a little bit different. We have a subscriber base.
It's classy that way.
Yeah, it is funny. Like it's like, well, do you want to do this on Friday? I'm like, listen, we have fans and they want to see a review, so I need to go.
Yeah,
I
we
can't
need
just
3
cancel.
videos a week, so we have to do something.
It's fun.
I mean, my. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I joke about it a lot of times. I feel like it's like Sean, in a very short amount of time, his life changed in a huge way when he ended up having a kid. But I feel like what this did was this is like designated hangout time for one of my best friends of my whole life. So it's I would do this even if we weren't filming it. Honestly, this is a thing that Sean and I from very early on in our friendship, we were into beer together. So it's a thing that where I say, oh well, we have to do it, but really I would do it anyway, and even if we weren't filming it. And now it's just an excuse, like I have to do it, but really what I'm doing is going to hang out with my best friend.
Yeah, and it's so usual
My,
that like even my wife is like, even with all this, she's like, yeah, she knows Fridays around this time, around like 4-ish is when we start to go off. She's like, she's never asked to like anything else. She's like, all right, we know you're gonna go do stuff, so just go have fun. And then it's also her time to watch her really, really, really terrible reality shows. But
Really terrible, really bad.
I think that's the point, though. It's like if you're in a healthy relationship, like there, almost all the unhealthy relationships I've been in or unhealthy relationships I know, friends that have been in are usually one person wants all the time and the other person wants time for themselves, and there's like a misbalance in what people expect. And with me and my wife, it's we both enjoy our own time. and we both respect that each other enjoys our own time. So like she has her knitting and making fiber and all that kind of stuff, and that's her by herself. She has her own room where she does that, and I have my own room, and I do that stuff down here. So um she thinks it's funny, half the time, because it's beer and stuff like that, but you know she digs it. Maybe she'd be happy if I didn't drank a little less beer. She might be happy about that, but the fact that I do it, she thinks it's funny. And the probably biggest issue she has is beer mails, because they take up so much room in the fridge. And then like she's like, God damn it! She's like, this person sent you a beer mail, and it's like it won't even fit in the fridge. So now I got to take a shelf out. And this is like like at 10 a.m. noon on a work day, and I don't get home till like 6:30, 7 o'clock. She's like, goddamn beer mail. He's like, what are these people gonna do? He's like, I hate these. You gotta get another fridge. You know what I mean? Like, but she's saying it she's joking when she says it. She's not actually like being angry about it. But no, she thinks it's funny in a good way. She gets a kick out of it. She gets a kick out of when people come up to me, because like when I go out in Jersey, because I do so much Jersey stuff. Like a lot of people come up and say hi and stuff, and she just thinks, she rolls her eyes and laughs at it. It's pretty fun.
But wait, you have the downstairs fridge when we were. So you have a second fridge, I assume, upstairs, right?
Well, we have a second fridge. We have 5 fridges technically, but we have fucking a farm, man. We got to put eggs in places. We got to fucking. We literally just sent a cow to market. You know what I mean? So, but it's like that's like the downstairs fridge is the fridge for beer and shit like that. So it is what it is. But dude, sometimes. Like, and this is not like a fucking like, whatever you mean, a flex or whatever, but sometimes I'll get like 2 or 3 beer mails in a day. Sometimes those boxes are like 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you get 2 or 3 of those in a day, and it's like in the middle of the summer, I'm like, you got to put that shit in the fridge. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's got to go in there. So, take out the stuff, and in the wintertime, I'm like, just leave it outside. I don't give a shit as long as it's not like super frigid. I don't care. But when it's super hot, you know what I mean. That's when she gets annoyed. And again, it's a lot of like, jokingly. She never legitimately gets angry. At least I hope she doesn't. What about you, Kyle? I know your wife wants you to monetize and become like famous and make a ton of money. What else?
The only thing she cares about is, are you making? If you're doing something, you should be making money doing that thing.
Wait. No. This is a really great question. So Kyle said when he hit 1,000 subscribers, which you have hit, you said your wife would make you monetize. You have not yet, have you?
No, I've monetized, and it's all because of her. She'll ask me like,
how much money
you
have to watch your reviews anymore.
No, you want to know how
buy a boat?
He used his ad blocker.
You want to know how Matt doesn't know, because I forgot I had my iPhone's jailbroken and I have ads turned off. So I haven't seen any ads, so that's why I was like, oh, okay. So you're one of those now.
I am. I'm on the dark side. Yeah,
How much you make? 36 cents.
$105 since February. So
nice.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's $105 is $105.
Yeah, more than zero.
I mean, yeah. It's interesting because I had talked to Joe from the Beer Patrol about it. I know he's hemming and hawing because he's getting closer to 1,000. It hasn't changed viewership. I haven't gone down. None of that kind of stuff has happened. People, not a single person's like, "How dare you ruin the purity of your review?" Like, whatever. But yeah, no, I had no intention of ever monetizing.
I tell Sean that all the time about you.
my reviews have been so pure. But yeah, no, it was never a thing. And actually, not to throw Sean under the bus, but the first time I really thought about it, Sean was talking. No, we had a conversation the first time we had met in real life, just about like the cost of cameras and computers and software programs or whatever, and just the idea of like recouping some of those expenses, 100%. And yeah, so I wasn't really trying to throw you on the bus, obviously. But no, I really did. I had no intention of ever doing it. But my wife's like, "Well, you're doing this thing. You should get paid for it. And like how much have you made?" It's like she doesn't ask me like, "How's that beer?" She's like, "How many views did you get?" Or how much money have you made? Like, there's no enjoyment piece. It's just to like financial, and not that we need the money. I mean, obviously, $100 over the course of what 3 or 4 months is not significant, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm like I bust chops. I'm not anti fucking
Yeah, I
monetize,
mean,
but I'm of the mindset of what I said earlier. Like, if I would ever make money doing it, it would be through third party advertisement. I would not give YouTube one red cent. I would have somebody else pay me to do a
Yeah.
live read, be like a beer intro. This is what we're gonna review before we get to the beer. Here's our sponsor. Read a fucking 15-second fucking ad myself, and then go into it and just get
I
the
see
money
those.
directly to myself. That's where I
I
would
see those in
That'd be
podcasts.
rad.
How do they know you're doing it though? I guess like is somebody are they paying somebody else on the other side to watch it? You could be like, yeah,
I don't know.
put
I
it,
mean,
like,
I'm sure.
halfway through the ad, or they're saying, give me the exact
Well,
time code you did it, and they make you and they watch it, check.
well, I think it's kind of, I don't want to say it's
Yeah.
honor system with those kind of things. And I'm sure listen, I'm sure if they're paying,
They're paying
fucking
good
some of
money,
these, what, like when I watch a lot of tech reviews, whether it be like fucking Gamer Nexus or Linus Tech Tip shit like that, I'm sure they're checking on those people, but not, I'm sure they peek just to see, because I'm sure you're telling them when the ad's gonna air. I'm sure some, like, here's $10,000, have at it. I'm like, okay, we want our ads placed within this period of time in your video.
Yeah,
There
because
probably
they
has to
know,
be
like, the
that
drop
kind of
off rate
discussion,
and stuff like that.
yeah, and stuff like that. So we want it in the first third of the video, preferably here and there. And if you watch any of these videos on YouTube, the people that make money, is literally the same format for everybody. It is a quick teaser about what you're gonna do and kind of a joke and blah blah blah, and then it cuts to an ad, and then it comes out of it. It's like literally the same format, and I think it's that way for a reason, just so they know. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm sure if they paid you whatever X amount of money and after a month they see a bump, you're going to get more money. If they see no bump, they're going to say, okay, that was fun. See you later. So yeah, so it's really just a matter of them seeing a bump on their analytics from their site. You know what I mean? So which dooms us all, because no way we're driving people to anybody. So anyway, go ahead.
If I see in video ads, I skip them every time. I just constantly skip ahead.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, and if you go on like if you do a podcast,
I skip ahead every time.
What? No, well, if you actually go and, like, for example, if I go on my podcast's analytics on like iTunes, I can literally see the dips where people are skipping. In the end, like they break it down to like they go, okay, and then I'll be like, and then, but you could literally see where people skip in your podcast. So like they're aware of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, so you can see most podcasts tail off. There's a tail off because people don't listen through all of it most of the time. But if you have if you do something in a podcast where it's like an ad or something that's just not entertaining or something happen, you could literally see drops where most people are skipping. So. Yeah, it's not like YouTube. YouTube's just watch minutes. They don't tell you how much they watch if they skipped ahead. Like I know for a fact I'm such a robot that people skip probably the first minute of my reviews and then they stop watching about 2/3 of the way through the review. I'm pretty sure that's how it works for pretty much all my reviews. That's why sometimes when I get towards the end, like today, I did an unboxing. And then at the end of the unboxing, I said, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to be hanging out at Nerdsense is going to do a thing later. Maybe you guys should come by. And I was like, I should probably put that at the beginning because people probably aren't watching now. You know what I mean? Like, it's those kind of things. So,
no, it's human nature. It's so true. Yeah. My
the only ads I watch are the ones I'm forced to watch. Otherwise, I'm skipping through them. I don't give a shit. And it's, everything that isn't what I want to watch is in the way of what I want to watch. So I'm just
100%.
Like, even if there's an ad for 15 seconds, I'm not even paying attention. I'm watching that number click down 14, 13, 12. I give no shits. I give no shit to what it's talking about. I'm watching the number tick down so I can hit click, get the fuck past this shit. Which is
pretty much. There was that one ad.
Pretty much the only reason I have.
No, I was gonna say there was one ad. I texted Kyle and I was like, "Motherfucker, caught me." It was like an indestructible shoe. I watched almost the entire ad, and I was like, and then Kyle's video came. I must actually know I watched the entire ad because then Kyle's video came on. I was like, I just watched a fucking ad, and I just couldn't stop watching it. And I was like, I kind of want to buy this shoe.
And I made
And the ad was for like Trump.
Uh,
Like, what would you do then? Like, would you second guess
Oh.
your
no, that's a
monetization?
good point. Yeah, of course. How do we know?
Like, you're basically you
Do
don't
we
have
know?
control
No,
over
we
what
don't. Do
ads
we,
they
Tyler?
Yeah.
No.
place. So,
uh,
and you don't know half the time
have
what
no
they're
idea
placing.
what
So
my
I've
who knows?
never seen a Trump
That's
ad
what
on
I'm saying.
YouTube
So,
at that
like,
point.
and honestly, and again,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
no,
low
no, I
hanging
know, I
fruit.
know.
I'm just trying to make an
No, at that
example.
point, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
You know
want
what I
anything
mean?
Like
Like,
that. Like commercial.
so it's more
ads,
like,
no, it's
okay,
not.
like that my problem with YouTube has always been two things. One, I think the profit versus loss is, or their profit versus our profit, the share is off. So I think the people who make the content should make more money. That is what most people think. But you don't have any control over what's shown. And again, I don't think they would do that because they're probably trying to stay
Right.
as close to the middle as humanly possible because their ultimate goal is to keep viewership.
Mhm.
So they don't want to piss anybody off. But I'm saying you don't have control over what's advertised for your stuff. So if it's something you're vehemently opposed to, even if it seems kind of generally kind of neutral, that's where it would kind of, and we would probably never know unless someone watched it and reached out to
Yeah.
us and told us.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, I
but
have no idea.
who's to say? Who's to say?
I know that a few years ago, like almost all the ads I got dealt with YouTube political, whether they were for Democrat or Republican, it was like insane amount.
Hmm.
It really was like frustrating to where I downloaded an app to watch YouTube videos without ads because I was
Yeah.
sick of seeing the fucking political bullshit.
Well, that's why one of the only reasons I jailbreak my iPhone is for that. Like I could basically watch YouTube videos in the background and I get no ads. That's why I do it.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
Debbie-
It's something that's political ads.
Debbie Downer right here. Debbie Downer.
No, I actually now I think about it now. I wish I could jailbreak my phone, but no, it's work, so I can't. I remember jailbreaking my phone, City App Store back in the day. Those are the days.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
me
it
too.
still exists. I stopped doing it for a while, but the new ones came out, and actually two reasons. One is so YouTube in the background, fuck yeah, and no ads. And the other one is, and this is the most dangerous shit in the history of mankind. I can play any video on my fucking my dash of my car, like
Oh.
CarPlay. I got a full screen of fucking any video I want, so I could literally watch a movie while I'm driving to work. I'm watching YouTube videos, like a beer reviews and it's full screen on my fucking my readout. My
That
fucking
sounds great,
Volkswagen,
actually.
so.
Shit.
Wow.
But
That's
not
awesome.
safe.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome.
Jesus, that actually
that's
sounds.
right.
No, I want to jailbreak my phone. Anyways, the funny thing is, before we go, I will say when I had my Android phone, you could, even though that YouTube Plus or YouTube Premium, that's the only time you could watch YouTube in the background. If you were doing something else, because obviously YouTube is owned by Google, you could this is an iPhone, but you could all right, if I was in Reddit and or if I had a YouTube up, I could background it and then I could hit Reddit and then it would show YouTube right here and it would still let me background it. So it's still like a free version of it. So that's just my thing about Androids could be better than iPhones, even though I'm an iPhone user. But I'll just
On my iPad,
Does
it does it. If I close YouTube and open some else, it'll be on the bottom corner of my screen and keep playing.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
my tablets that is the same with even tablets is the same with Apple products. Like because they want you to keep watching a video, so there's so much
but there's
screen
so much
space. They
screen
let you
space
do
on
that,
this
but on your
iPhone,
on the
so I
phone.
do that as well.
Yeah. Well, I think that's more
Yeah.
YouTube. That's more Google
Apple.
than Apple because they want that, like you said, the
Yeah.
YouTube Premium, whatever it is, membership. Which I try to talk my family
It's
into
actually
getting because we have
Crazy
Spotify.
because you don't get YouTube Plus, you don't get YouTube TV with it.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we pay for Spotify Family.
Oh, you get YouTube Music,
which is like I think it's $16 a month, and it's like I'm like, okay, we could spend the same exact amount of money for YouTube Premium and get all the same pretty much music because all these streaming services are pretty much the fucking same, and get the YouTube no ads and background for basically for free. But they're so set in their ways. They're like, nah. I was like, okay, I'll just jailbreak my phone. Fuck you guys.
There's probably more value in that.
Yeah, that
Now
makes
you
sense.
now that you
because
say it that way.
Mike and I and his brother Josh pays for Spotify Premium, and we all kind of share the family plan. So actually, Mike,
Yeah.
maybe we should think about looking at you.
Yeah, because you get Google Music, you get
I hate
YouTube
to say
Premium without. You're separate. You're thinking the difference between YouTube Premium and YouTube TV.
No,
You
no,
don't get
no,
YouTube
no. I know that,
TV. You
but
get YouTube.
but we'll get.
And there's a second. There's a third thing
Yeah,
you
no,
get. I
we'll get
forget what it
YouTube
is.
Premium without the
YouTube
TV,
Red.
and we'll get the YouTube Music.
the thing with Spotify, even though I use it so infrequently, I like that I can just like save albums to
But
the
I think you can do
side
that with
and
YouTube Music too. I think it's a separate app. Oh, we can look
fair
at it.
enough. Yeah, Josh set it up,
Yeah,
and
same here.
I just tag on, so I
I
don't
just buy
complain
Josh
too
a
much.
beer fest
Obviously,
ticket every year, and usually we squirt. But this year, year
that's
there's
how that
no
works.
beer fest, so I think I owe
Not
Josh a
this
few
year.
bucks at some point. But yeah, so this has been about 2 hours. I don't want to bore everyone. We got about 5 viewers left. They're tapering off. Actually, Kyle, thank you for being active in the comments, and because considering we've all been missing.
Wow.
Him. Well, he has. So I guess happy Friday, Matt. Kyle, do you want to plug your places?
Yeah,
No.
Joe from the Favorite Troll. He's a good up and comer. I would recommend checking him out. Kyle No High Beer Reviews. Check me out on Instagram Untapped and YouTube. I'm done.
I'm good.
Matt's like I'm big time.
No. Let me say this.
You know
Let me say
who
this real
I
quick.
am.
I'll give out shout
Okay,
outs.
go,
I'll
go,
give
go,
out
go.
shout outs. Shout outs to shout outs to Kyle, not this Kyle. Kyle from Brooklyn sent me a beer mail. Shout out that dude. Shout out to I had a couple homebrew guys reach out to me about homebrew stuff, which is cool because they do a lot of homebrew on Wednesdays now. Shout out to those dudes. My buddy Ryan Luber, who actually jumped on a live feed not too long ago, he's going to send me some stuff. And there's somebody else who's going to send me a beer mail out. I forget who it was, but shout out to all the beer mail people. Keep that shit coming forward because I need daddy needs beer. Anyway,
All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm Sean.
I'm Mike.
No, Nerdsense.
And this is Nerdsense.
and this is
Yeah, that works. I'm not done yet. You keep going. And now.
Invite.